I should lose your love for any reason at all, then let my record show I gave you all the love I know. Don't try to play with my emotions. Give me all your devotion. Oh, my Lord. If you don't really mean it, don't try to play with my emotions. Don't try to play with my emotions. What's up, everybody? I hope you like the old school Peebo Bryson up in the house. This is For Black Righteous Folks Home, or you can call me For Black for short. We're going to go through the latest with Trump, which is he celebrated, I guess you can call it a celebration of Black History Month. He had a gathering, I would say, but I don't know. He wasn't there for a long period of time at all, but I'm going to show what he said. Also, we'll have deportation news to go through. In addition to that, I want to answer the question for those that are confused about why most Black Americans are not upset with mass deportations. You might have a few that feel some kind of way about seeing melanated folks being deported, but the vast majority of us, we don't really have an emotion behind it. And I think it has a lot to do with what's been going on YouTube, and also them interfering with reparation talks, and them saying we ain't got no culture, them being divisive and bashing us, gaslighting us, telling us to go to Africa, telling us that we are not ourselves unless we link up to Africa, and all this type of talk. It has caused kind of a bit of a rift, I would say, with melanated people, especially Africans. Not so much as the Caribbeans, I would say, but even still, we don't have much of an emotion for the Haitians or the Jamaicans or other Caribbeans that are being deported, because a lot of things have been said on social media against us. It seems that most groups have coalesced together, the melanated people around the globe, to talk against Black Americans for a long time on social media, and it all hit the fan when this mass deportation started, and most of us doesn't feel really bad about it. So that's primarily my interpretation or observation for what has happened or is happening right now. So before I get going, I would say fair use of all videos that I show under the Copyright Act in 1976 for observation, research, commentary, scholarship, education, and for information pertaining to what is going on here and now. Not trying to infringe or impose, but to inform those that want to know what is happening in real time today, to date, so that we stay up on what is going on in real in our real lives, because a lot of us don't look into the news and things of that nature. So this is why I have gotten this channel going to talk about the latest news pertaining to Trump, because he's been very busy, as you know. And for those that don't know, he had hosted some type of reception honoring Black History Month. It wasn't much of a reception. I think he was only there for like 25 minutes. But let's look at what he said and what was going on. Let's start there first. If you guys have not yet, please hit the like button. Please share, subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. And for those that are wondering what happened to the video yesterday, they snatched the video down. I don't even know why. They usually say why, and they didn't say anything. So I'm like really confused on what happened and why it was just taken down, other than me maybe playing that Pimp song from 50 Cent. I guess that might be the reason, but more times than not, they kind of tell you why they snatch videos down so that you can correct what's wrong with the video. And they didn't do that. So that's what happened to that video. I don't really know. So let's get to the first video. Here is Trump again, giving his supposed honoring of the Black History Month. Let's check it out.
Champion golfer, Mr. Tiger Woods. Thank you very much. Thank you. Wow. This is some crowd. How are you? Thank you. Leo. Some crowd. These are the best people, Tiger. And we have Adam Scott here also, winner of the Masters, one of the greatest golfers in the world. I've always tried to swing just like Adam. It never worked out that way. And Tiger, we know, and I just want to thank Adam and Tiger and the Commissioner of Golf. Jay, thank you very much for being here. Jay Monahan, head of the PGA, and we had some interesting discussions. But let me ask you, is there anybody like... Would you want to just say a couple of words? He doesn't. He's much more comfortable.
It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be here with you, Mr. President, and to be on the road here with all of you. Thank you so much.
Boy, he has changed in his looks over the years. I guess that breakup that he had with his wife or girlfriend, I can't remember which one, taking a lot of his money has really aged him. But yeah, he didn't really want to talk. And I guess he was there as a guest with Trump to honor Black History Month, which I'm kind of surprised to see him there, because I didn't think that he identified as being one of us, because he more or less steered clear of any recording of saying that he was a Black man or a Black American. So I'm kind of curious of what caused him to come to this meeting or this reception.
Thanks, Tiger. And I want to thank all of you very much for being here. Welcome to the White House, and we proudly celebrate Black History Month. How are you, darling? Today we pay tribute to the generations of Black legends, champions, warriors, and patriots who helped drive our country forward to greatness. And you really are great people. What a great, nice group of... I have some people in front of me every once in a while with all the problems that are caused all over the world. They're not nice. They're not nice. And, but we're making them nice. I can tell you that, and we're making them nice rapidly. So we're pleased to be joined in this really beautiful afternoon at the White House by hundreds of incredible members of the African American community.
And we're going to have to correct him on that. He doesn't know that many of us don't like to be called African American. We prefer to be called Indigenous Americans or just Americans overall. So he needs an update on that. Jesse Jackson did a number on reclassifying our name back in 1988. And none of us approved of that change. So he doesn't know. He needs to know.
Many of whom are making history themselves, and one of the greatest athletes of all time, who you just said hello, the man who matched Sam Snead's #1 record for the most PGA Tour wins ever, and a man who has 15 majors, and he's got a long way to go too. I was with him a week ago. We played. I think he's got some left, doesn't he? Huh? He's got a couple of majors left, maybe more than that. But Tiger Woods, he's an incredible guy, an incredible athlete, incredible player. Thank you for being with us, Tiger. Thank you very much. And he got the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which he proudly wore today. And we have Senator Tim Scott here. What do you think, Tim? You never got the Presidential Medal. Maybe someday. Maybe someday. You better believe it. And also, Adam, thank you very much. Adam is, as Tiger will tell you, one of the greatest players and one of the great modern players. And he had 32 wins worldwide and winning the Masters also. And he's something very special and a great representative of golfers and athletes. Thank you very much, Adam. Even though he doesn't quite come from our country, he sort of does, right? He's here a lot. He comes from another nice place like Australia, right? And they've been very good, very, very good to us. Jay, thank you very much. Appreciate it very much. We also have the head of Pfizer here, so I want to thank him. One of the great people, one of the great businessmen. Thank you, Albert. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I want to congratulate our newly sworn in Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Scott Turner. Come on. I got to say hello. Come on up here, Scott. I had Tim Scott pushing him so hard, you have no idea. I had no choice. Is that right, Tim? Now, Scott is, I've known him a long time, and Scott's the real champion. Say a couple of words.
Well, hello, everyone. Is everybody happy to be here together? Is everybody happy to be here together? Well, first of all, I want to thank President Trump for his confidence in appointing me to this position. I consider it a great honor and a great blessing. And I thank God for this, and I'm real humbled by it. And you can guarantee that every day that I'm going to lay it down for the people of America.
I believe he is the Secretary of HUD, I want to think. I think he is HUD. I don't know if he used to be an athletic or athlete. Let me know in the chat room if you know, if he was a football player or something like that, because he kind of resembles like he could be or could have been. But I don't know who he is personally. But just let me know if you know some more information on this guy right here that's talking.
As Senator Tim Scott, thank you for your leadership. I really appreciate you. And for all of those who have gone before us, and those of you who have such a great voice today, keep on speaking, keep on preaching for not just Black America, but for all America. So we appreciate you. And my sister Brooke Rollins and all of those here, Mr. President, we look forward to working with you, sir. Great agenda. We pray for you every day. God bless you, and thank you. God bless America. Thank you for President Trump. Thank you.
And I see we have a newly, I think you just got in, right? They just confirmed you, and you did it very nicely. Brooke Rollins, she's the Secretary of Agriculture. It's a big deal. That's great, Brooke. That was a good vote you had, too. Huh? She went through very easily, a little easier than some of our people, but they were all approved, every one of them. And today we just had Kash Patel approved, which is great. So, Brooke, congratulations. Secretary of Agriculture, that's big stuff, right? That's big. So you're going to do fantastically. And congratulations also to a really good friend of mine. He endorsed me early, and he He was one of the best surrogates you could have. The surrogate is when you walk around and go on television shows and they go try and beat you up, but he beat them up. They didn't have a chance against Tim Scott, Senator Tim Scott from South Carolina. And he's now the longest serving black United States senator in the history of our country. I don't know. That's pretty good. He's going to be around for a long time, right? Just got married. Congratulations on that, too. Beautiful, beautiful one. Thanks as well to Congressman John James. Where's John James? Is he here? Hi, John. How are you? He's a star, young star. I knew that 5 years ago, right, John? I sort of predicted it. And I'm proud to say that we now have more black Republicans serving in the U.S. House than at any time since 1870. That's a long time, 1870. So thank you very much. And Scott, you're going to be fantastic. I'll tell you, you're going to do a great job. As you know, the Americans are going to be celebrating something very important coming up, our 250th anniversary, our nation's founding. And when we do, we're going to look forward to honoring the contributions of countless black Americans who fought to win and protect and expand American freedom from the very, very beginning. Some of my good friends are here today, and I appreciate you being. I'm not going to call out your names because Tiger will get very bored. He'll say, this is a little boring. This is a little boring if we do that. But I want to thank you all for being here. You are our friends, and we appreciate this. You, McGee, you are my friend. The last administration tried to reduce all of American history to a single year, 1619. But under our administration, we honor the indispensable role black Americans have always played in the immortal cause of another date, 1776. We like 1776. In the very skirmish of the Revolutionary War at Lexington Green, an enslaved black man named Prince Estabrook, you know Prince Estabrook? Yeah. Answered history's call and fought as the Minutemen alongside the other patriots of the very small Massachusetts town. Couldn't protect itself, but they did a good job. Prince was wounded in the early morning battle, becoming not only the first African-American soldier to fight in the Revolution, but among the very first Americans to spill their blood. One of the first in the nation to spill blood in that very, very tough time. Soon Estabrook joined the Continental Army and ultimately won his own freedom along with that of his fellow Americans. His legacy will endure, and we're very proud to honor him today. It's a very important day in our country, and we honor him. First person to spill blood happened to be Tim Estabrook. Today, I'm pleased to announce that we will be including the statue of Prince Estabrook in our new National Garden of American Heroes. We're going to be doing a Garden of American Heroes. And now that I think of it, I must tell you, sadly, most of them, I guess all of them are not with us any longer. I was going to put Tiger in the garden, but maybe you don't want to be there. I maybe should wait a little bit, huh? Like about 50, I think I'm going to wait about 50 years, all right? But Tiger's going to make it, okay? But I'm a little afraid to tell him yes, because he'd be the only one that's living. I don't know, Tiger. Tiger's rejected that offer, right? Under the executive order I signed last month, this new beautiful outdoor statue park. It's going to be a statue park. It's going to be unbelievable. We're picking the final sites now. It's between various states that want it very badly. We'll honor hundreds of our greatest Americans to ever live, including countless black Americans, icons. The garden will predominantly feature incredible women like Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Billie Holiday, Aretha Franklin, and Coretta Scott King. And I will showcase it will be something very extraordinary. It's going to be we're going to produce some of the most beautiful works of art in the form of a statue from men like Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington, Jackie Robinson, what a great athlete that was, Martin Luther King Jr., Muhammad Ali, he's not a bad athlete. What do you think? Not too bad. And the late Kobe Bryant. People love Kobe. And we're going to save Tiger Woods for another time. That's all. I'm sorry. During Black History Month, we pay tribute to these heroes, and so not simply because they're Black heroes, but also because they are truly American heroes who inspire all of us, very much so.
And I want y'all to just recognize that he is recognizing us as being American, not slaves of old, not just citizens of the United States, but Americans. And a lot of melanated people around the globe don't like attributing our identities as being Americans, but I want y'all to just understand that the vast majority of white folks in America recognize us as being Americans, and we need to stop not saying that we are Americans and accept that name.
History Month, we pay tribute to these heroes, and so not simply because they're Black heroes, but also because they are truly American heroes who inspire all of us, very much so. The theme of this year's celebration is African Americans and labor, and we want to thank all of the Black workers, construction workers, and every other worker. They do a job like nobody can do, and we want to just thank them very much for their contribution. Tim, the contribution you've made, Tim, is incredible. Opportunity Zone, so many. He's the father of Opportunity Zone. I'm just the son. He's the father, because he came into the White House, the Oval Office, with this idea, and it's probably the #1 economic development project ever in our country. And I want to give Senator Tim Scott the credit for it. Good job, Tim. Of course, millions of Blacks were first brought here in slavery, and they were kept in that evil condition for really generations. But because of the steadfast faith and courage of so many patriots of all colors, we abolished that horrific institution, expanded civil rights, and advanced America's destiny as one nation under God, with liberty and justice for all. Just a few months ago, the people in this room and millions of other Black Americans played their own part in the American story when you went to the voting booths and restored a nice, good, solid government. And there's a guy that really helped. There's a man that really helped. You really are great. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I don't forget. I'm proud to say that we received, listen to this, 4 votes from Black Americans than any Republican president ever. Almost 40% of the vote. Now, I won't be happy the next time. Should I run again? You tell me. There's your controversy right there. There's your You'll be seeing that. You're gonna see that tonight, Tim, on television. I want to thank just a few of the people who are with us today. These are great friends of ours. Alveda King. Alveda, where are you, Alveda? Hi, Alveda. Thank you. You've been with me from day one, and I appreciate it. I won't forget it. She's a fantastic woman. Alice, where's Alice? Boy, are you incredible. I watched you last night on television. You were so good. You know, Alice was in prison for doing something that today probably wouldn't even be prosecuted. She spent 22 years in prison, 22 years. She had another 22 years left. Can you believe it? And I pardoned her, and it was one of the best pardons. One of the best pardons. You know what she was on? She happened to be on the wrong telephone line. Is that true? She was on a telephone call. And I'm not saying it was perfect, but it wasn't worth 40 or 50 years, Alice. And you've been an inspiration to people. And we're going to be listening to your recommendation on pardons. You're going to go over, and she's going to be bizarre. And you're going to find people just like you that this should not have happened. It should happen. So you're going to look, and you're going to make recommendations, and I'll follow those recommendations, okay, for pardons, all right? Thank you very much. A man who's just incredible. This guy, I watched him when he was a Democrat, and then one day he had to change because he couldn't take it any longer. And did anyone ever hear of a man named Leo 2.0 Terrell. Where are you? Get up here. Get up here. I love this guy. You know what he's doing now? He's with the Department of Justice. He's in charge of civil rights and lots of other great things. He's going to be working with Pam. It's okay. Could he come up, please? Come on, Leo. Get up here. Leo 2.0. This guy is great.
I just want to say we are in the presence of the greatest president of all time. He is the greatest president in our lifetime. And I'll tell you right now, the Democratic Party should be a worry because they took us for granted. No longer. We vote in our best interest. We want the same thing that every American wants. Good job. We want a secure border. We want to pay lower taxes, and Mr. President Donald Trump is doing that. Thank you, Mr. President.
He's a great guy. No, I watched him. He was a radical Democrat. He became a radical Republican, right? He's great. He's in the Department of Justice. Think of it, doing very important work at the highest level. Also, Sage Steele. Sage, where are you? Hello, Sage. Great job you're doing. You're doing great. Thank you very much, Sage, for being here. Michael, Harry O. Harris. Michael. Hi, Michael. Thank you very much, Michael. Deontay Johnson. Deontay. Thank you, Deontay. Lynn Patton, she's worked for me for a long time. Lynn, she's worked for us for a long time. Bob Woodson, where's Bob? And we're also joined by seven-time Mr. Olympia. I want to see this guy. Phil Heath, where's Phil? Phil Heath, I don't want to compare my muscles. Here he is. Thank you, Phil, very much. I appreciate it. Will you come up here for a second? Come on, get up. I gotta say, come on, you. From day one, right? From day one, he's been here. Get up. You gotta say just a word. If you fall, it's all over. Tiger, you're not allowed to fall. You know, you can make a great speech, but if you fall going up, that's no good. Come on.
Wow. Are you kidding me? Mr. President, it has been an honor of a lifetime to support you, to try to wake up as many people to the lies of the Democrat Party and the nonstop manipulation of the mainstream media. That's why I now have my show on Newsmax so I can champion you. And I'm thankful that we've been able to champion him and get him across the finish line for another amazing 4 years. And let me say, I know God has chose you. He anointed you for this position. He kept you alive so you could be here today. And we prayed for that. We pray for you. We continue to pray for you. And we're thankful for your service and your sacrifice. Mr. President Donald J. Trump, honor. God bless you.
From day one. I like those guys from day one. Tiger's been there from day one, too. Let me tell you, this guy is amazing. In 4 weeks, our new administration has achieved more than most administrations achieve in 4 years. We brought our country back. It's 4 weeks. Today is our 4th week. End of the week. We are now starting our 5th, and I think we've done more in 4 weeks. Well, certainly than the last administration did in 4 years. They actually went negative. They actually went in the wrong direction. Together, we're going to be fighting long and hard for Black Americans and all Americans. We're going to be fighting for all Americans. We've secured our border, and we're stopping the invasion of our country. You know, our border right now is more secure than it's ever been. And we had the record. 4 years ago, we had the record. We had the lowest number in history, and now the numbers, Tim, are even lower than they were then. And we're honored. We're allowing people to come in from all over the world, from prisons and jails, mental institutions, insane asylums, gang members. They had drug dealers. They had everybody dropping in. And we had this ridiculous open border policy. They drop in. And I'll tell you, the people that were affected the most were Black people. You were affected the most in terms of the crime, in terms of the drugs and everything else. And we have the border shut down. We allow people to come in. We want people to come in, Tim, but we want them to come in legally. They're going to come through So we're protecting American workers, including millions of black workers, and we have a thing called reciprocal tariffs. If they charge us, we charge them. This is opening up. We just signed the bill, and we're going to take in billions and billions of dollars, and we're making our country very healthy again and very rich again. We want to be very rich again. We've been taken advantage by everybody. You've been watching Doge, where we found billions, tens of billions of dollars of fraud and waste and abuse, and that's just the beginning. And Elon Musk has done an amazing job. I have to praise him and his super geniuses. You know, these are seriously high IQ people, and nobody's going to talk them out of anything. They go in and they're finding billions. I mean, literally tens of billions of dollars that we just started, and I think that's going to have a big impact, Brooke, right? So we want to just really say, and I have to say to you, I look at this turnout, I look at the love in the room. This is just love in the room. I remember the first time I did this, my first administration, one of my first meetings, there wasn't this large a crowd, Tiger. We had about 5 people in the front. We had maybe five black people right in the front, right about there. I said, is anybody else coming? Is this it? The open? I don't even think Tim Scott, I know Turner wasn't there. I don't think Tim Scott was there either. I'm not sure. But that's all changed. And we got the highest vote. And one of the big reasons I'm president today is because of the black vote. And I always appreciate it. So this is a very special time. It's Black History Month. We love you all. We're going to work with you. We're going to make America greater than ever before. We're going to do it together. I want to thank you all for being here. It's an incredible honor. And to my great golfing friends, I want to thank them in particular because they really are. They make a lot.
So there you go. That was the Black History Month celebration or reception that he did. I mean, it's good that he acknowledged us and whatnot. I just thought it was going to be a little bit more than that, but at least he acknowledged us. You know, that's a good thing. I don't know if you guys know, but he declared himself a king yesterday, I want to say. Let me see if I can find that video. He's going a little bit off the Richters, calling himself a king. I don't know if he was joking or not, but a lot of people are like, what are you saying? But let me play that video. Hold on. Please hit the like button.
President Trump is not holding back on criticisms of Ukraine's president. He is calling Volodymyr Zelensky a dictator. That was yesterday, and is accusing him of mismanaging U.S. aid. Talking to reporters, President Trump also complained about Ukraine not paying the U.S. back for the military assistance it has provided. CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe joins us from the White House and has more on this. Ed, critics say President Trump's rhetoric echoes Kremlin talking points, and President Zelensky among those critics. Why is that?
That's right. Zelensky saying that President Trump appears to be living in a misinformation space, and Senator Chuck Schumer, the Democratic leader, saying that
he's not talking about him being a king, but it's entitled that. Hold on. I hate when they do that. I don't want to listen to the whole entire video. See, I have a shorter video to show. Where is that at? Anyways, I don't want to play that whole video because, oh, here it is.
Some strong reactions this morning from U.S. President Donald Trump declaring himself as a king. The official White House Instagram releasing this image. Trump first called himself a king after ordering an end to congestion pricing in New York City. The governor of New York responding with, "We are a nation of laws, not ruled by a king." Some strong reactions this morning from U.S. President Donald Trump declaring himself as a king. The official White House.
Okay, so I don't know if he was playing or what's going on with that, but I thought that was pretty interesting. My brother told me about that, so I had to look that up. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat room. If you have not yet, please hit that like button. This is For Black Righteous Folks Home. I'm done with talking about him in the Black History Month reception, but we're going to move on to talking about deportations after I read some of the comments in the comment section, if there are any. The Walliest says, it's not about race. And the more you talk about race, the less effective you will be. Well, sir, this is Black History Month, and I am keeping up with what Trump is doing, and he is acknowledging Black History Month. So whatever he does, and also acknowledging Black History Month, I will showcase on this video because I happen to be Black American or Indigenous American, if you feel better with that terminology. But this is not about being divisive against other groups of people. It's just acknowledging this month because it is Black History Month. Miss D says facts, and when they come here, they get in our politics and sabotage us. Yes, we're going to get into that conversation a little bit later with why Black Americans, for the most part, are not upset about mass deportations. There's a lot of things that a lot of the immigrant groups have done while being on social media and also saying horrible things about us and our culture and trying to diminish who we are as a people here in America. So this is why, in my opinion, a lot of us have lost a lot of respect or acknowledging them, and we really just don't have a care to give. We're pretty indifferent to what the mass deportations are happening. Look around when these protests are going on. A lot of us are not there. E-Rich says Tiger is on the payroll. You think so? I haven't seen him in a long time. He came out looking kind of raggedy. What's up, Grace and Grit? How are you? Amanda, thank you for coming. You're from Australia. Okay, thank you for being here. The Walperdinger, what a joke, he says. Okay, that's your opinion. African Goddess is in the house. How are you doing? Summer says, what the F, would Black people be mad? That's dumb. There are some people that are a little bit concerned or claim to care, but I would say the vast majority of us, as you know, Summer, we don't have a care to give, and that's just the truth. How you doing, Crimson, Charlie, and D, Sully? Thank you for coming through. African Goddess says lots of people got the liberal bandwagon on the liberal bandwagon when they went too far and forgot common sense. You said got off the bandwagon, I guess you meant to say. Yeah, they got off the liberal bandwagon because of how they have ignored us, dismissed us, and wanted our votes. And once they got our votes, they forgot about us. And we got tired of being treated like that. So many of us, like myself, saw the evilness of Democrats and how they didn't really measure up to helping us do anything positive in our situation here in America. So therefore, why are we loyal to the Democrats? And that's why a lot of us switched and voted Republican this time. What's up, Miss Tay, Mrs. Tay Pierre? How are you? Stephen in the house, and Tiffany, how are you? And Luke says, you said, are we? What does that mean, Tiffany? Luke says, declaring himself king and getting regulatory bodies of the ability to check concentrated power. Yeah, that does seem a little bit strange, and I am a little bit concerned, but I'm trying to wait it out before I have this emotional change in how I've been feeling about Trump, because I want to keep supporting him. I want to see it through. I want to give him an opportunity to see what's about to happen. It's only been a month, so it's not enough time for me to totally turn away from him. I want to see what the next, 3-4 months is going to bring before I change my opinion. But it is pretty interesting how he is seemingly seizing more power than what most presidents do. And that is kind of like what I've been noticing. Josh says, because we are tired of the BS. Yes, we are, Josh. Luke says, shrinking government so that individuals within it have more power over all. Josh says, and here you are spitting out more BS. Oh, whatever. You can go away. You don't have to be here. Did he say it? D says, yes, he did. He declared himself a king. Loving kindness says, I'm not making any threat or suggestions or condoning any violence at all, but in history, we all know what happens to kings. Oh, well, he is always under threat, that's for sure. And with all these firings, I'm sure he hasn't made a lot of friends. And so he has to be very careful and mindful of all the people that he is angering. And I'm pretty sure he is aware of all the anger that he is giving a lot of people to feel. I'm sure he's not lost on that. How you doing, Shannon? How are you doing? Ed says, why would they be upset about mass deportations? Well, because some people feel like they're human beings. Some people feel like they should be given some type of rights. But the vast majority of us just doesn't see it that way. How are you doing? Marv says, let's go Trump. D says, no, they're getting fired from jobs they should never have ever had. Marv says, you're talking about the king reference a little too literal. It's really just people suffering from TDS. Okay, that's your opinion. That's just odd that he would say that, because he knows that a lot of people have been depicting him as a dictator before he became president. And during the campaign, they were saying that he was a dictator in the making. And so for him to say he is a king, even playing around with it, a lot of people are going to take it literal, even if he didn't mean it. That's why I think he should be careful on how he says different things. Just my opinion, he ought to maybe be careful about saying those types of things so that he wouldn't be looked upon as maybe trying to be a dictator. He said they voted against DEI, which helped them white women the most. Yes, it did. Brandon says, I think he has to clean up and pray up for our country. Yes. You said, I need to hear him say that. He did say, you didn't hear him say that? Trump turd. Let me see if I can find a video real quick. Trump says he's king. Hold on. Maybe he posted it. He might have just posted it. But yeah, if he outright said it, you want to hear the context and how he said it. And I wish I could find a small little clip of him saying that. Okay, let me see if this is going to help.
It's halftime. Time to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, the president and his administration are trying to stop New York City's congestion pricing, which does raise toll to $9 for those who are trying to enter Manhattan. So the Department of Transportation says this needs to end. Then the president posting on social media that congestion pricing is dead, likening himself to a king, posting long.
So here he is posting that he's king. He didn't say it, but he posted it. Congestion pricing is dead. Manhattan and all of New York is saved. Long live the king. That's what he said. So should we take it literal? I don't know. Some people will. That's the problem. Some people will take it literal. Now, moving on to deportation news. There's a lot of news when it comes to deportation, as you guys know. Let me get to that video. If you guys have not yet, please do me a favor by liking and sharing the video. I would greatly appreciate it. Now we're going to watch the process of how migrants are deported and expelled from the United States through this video right here. Let me see. Hold on.
It is an image not often seen, migrants being sent back to Mexico. A transaction between that happens every day in the middle of one of the international bridges in Eagle Pass. Our Yami Virgen was invited to ride along with Border Patrol.
We have seen how migrants cross into the U.S. illegally through the Rio Grande. This is the first time we're allowed to record the process of how they're deported or expelled at the U.S.-Mexico border. Photojournalist Paul Sanchez and I arrived at the Firefly Processing Center around 7 a.m. to follow the first group of the day being sent back to Mexico. Acting Chief of Border Patrol Del Rio Sector, Milton Moreno, met us at the area where migrants are brought out and board buses under the watchful eye of agents.
We transfer them over to our processing facility. There we vet their records. We ensure that they are, who they claim to be. And if they don't have any criminal charges pending here in the U.S.
If they do have charges, they will not be released to Mexico so easily.
Those that do have a criminal history are processed accordingly and turned over to ICRO for further detention and processing.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, can hold them longer while they investigate their records and determine if they can repatriate them to their country of origin. This morning, those without a criminal record are being placed on buses and sent to one of the bridges in Eagle Pass, Texas. This process happens daily in coordination with Mexico's immigration authorities.
We are able to quickly return these illegal aliens back into Mexico, and the government of Mexico has been a great partner in accepting the CBNHs as we talked about, so Cuban, Venezuelans, Haitians, Nicaraguas. And here recently, they added Central Americans, Guatemala, and Salvador, and Honduras, and obviously the Mexican nationals.
Executive order signed by President Donald Trump now allows this group, which previously had temporary protected status, or TPS, to be deported.
Every day we coordinate with government of Mexico, our counterparts in the Mexican immigration. We turn over the illegal aliens over to them, and we tend to do them during daylight hours between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m.
Where do they go from there?
From there, Mexico either takes them into the interior of Mexico, Mexico City, by bus or by plane, and some into their native country.
Acting Chief Moreno says this system seems to be helping reduce the number of migrants who attempt to return illegally to the U.S. Are you seeing people come back?
We have not. In years past, we used to see that recidivism where you apprehend the same person on 3 consecutive days. We have not seen that now because you return them back into the interior of Mexico or to their native country, and it makes it more difficult for them to start that journey again.
One by one.
Now, some illegals or non-documented migrants have been recently self-deporting because they don't want to get a ban on them for being here. I guess it's like a strike against them if they are caught by ICE, and it carries forward for them to have a ban forever, I guess, or for a long period of time where they're not able to come back. So some of them are finding themselves wanting to self-deportate versus take the chances of being caught by ICE.
So the Trump administration is now deporting Africans. Yes, Africans. So on Wednesday, there was a U.S. military plane that took off and went to Panama. And migrants from Asia and Africa were all sent packing. Now, according to Panama's foreign ministry, we are footing the bill. The United States is funding this deportation. Now, for years, the United States have been trying to send African migrants back to Africa, but it wasn't working. African countries would take the planes and send them right back to America. And we do have a lot of Africans like in the DR and Cameroon that are fleeing the countries because there's so much violence going on. So now those African countries gonna have to figure something out.
Speaking of violence going on in the Congo, before I continue, I don't know if you guys heard the latest news when it comes to Christians in the Congo being beheaded recently. There's like 70 70 Christians that were reportedly beheaded in the Congo. So before I continue, because there's not a lot of people talking about this, maybe because they don't know, but I'm going to just insert this into the conversation for you guys to acknowledge that there are significant reasons why some of these people are wanting to get out of Dodge from their countries, but they're being deported.
70 Christians have been found beheaded. Yes, beheaded in a church in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Why is no one reporting this? Why does no one seem to care? Well, let me bring in Dexter Van Zyl, an expert on anti-Christian violence. Dexter, what can you tell us about this absolutely barbaric atrocity?
Okay, well, first of all, it took place in the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is a huge country with about 105 million people, that right now is basically in a conflict with neighboring Rwanda over territory in Kivu.
And what's so ironic about that, Rwanda was the same country that had an issue with the genocide back in 1994 with the two different ethnic tribes that slaughtered, certain tribes. If you weren't one thing, you were slaughtered. About 800,000 people lost their life. And the same person that was a part of that military operations and now is the president. Kagame is the president of Rwanda now. And now all these slaughterings or beheadings that have happened, if he's associated with that, that's kind of alarming in itself.
Okay. And the violence was perpetrated by an organization that was affiliated with ISIS. And the thing is that there are some people who have argued that they are essentially working on behalf of Rwanda, because Rwanda is a neighboring country that covets and is actually taking control of an awful lot of the mineral resources in Kivu. And so what this violence has done is demonstrated that the Congo cannot protect its citizens from violence in Kivu or in North Kivu. And so what people are worried about is that this is essentially an attempt to kind of destabilize the Democratic Republic of Congo and legitimize Rwandan claims to the minerals in the region. And I don't want to underestimate or downplay the ideological hatred by the perpetrators of this group who murdered these Christians. But the thing is that it's taking place against a backdrop of geopolitics in Africa. And
okay, so I just wanted you guys to get a quick clip of that.
She decided to do, let's talk about it.
At this point, I just want to go home. I'm tired. I want to go home. Tell me why I'm hearing that people in the US are being deported. People that have lived here for 20 years. These people have social security number. I don't even know how you can do that if you don't have papers. People who have homes, who have bought houses, but no papers. People who have lived here for years upon years. I can't get my head around it. Guys, anywhere that you are, please, your documentation is number one. Don't get comfortable with a good life. Go and make sure you are documented. That's all I can say while I'm still here, because, I'm not about to be questioned at the airport, but I just need to go home. I think it's enough.
Yep.
I'm off. I'm deporting myself before I get deported. I'm going home, guys. Please. Wish me luck. I don't have to wait to be deported. I will use my 2 legs and boom, vamoose. I'm out. I deported myself. Happy now? Okay. Watch out.
Now, also, I don't know, today was the day that Trump revoked the TPS protections for Haitians. That's like big news right now. Let me find the video for that. It is, rather strange. Well, not strange, because everybody knew that this day was coming because he said it. He said it over and over and over and over again. So it's not shocking, but I'm sure the Haitians feel some kind of way because they thought that they had protections that would allow them to be here for many years. And those protections have now been lifted. So they're not going to be protected after all. Let me play a small clip of that. But yeah, this is a reversal of this TPS extension for Haitians. And I think that they have now till August before they are not protected any longer.
Hundreds of thousands of Haitian migrants, they are now at risk of being deported after the Trump administration reversed an extension of the temporary protection status program for Haitians. Now, the end date for TPS is August 3rd. Joining us live this morning to discuss the implications is Congresswoman Sheila Sherfilis McCormick. Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So first off, former President Biden extended the protection status until next year. Explain what happened to that extension and how soon could Haitians be deported?
Well, the Trump administration has canceled those protections, and we're looking right now at a date of August 2025, and which is going to have extremely devastating effects to us in Florida because we have over 520,000 in the United States, most of them working in Florida.
Yeah, I'm talking about 500,000 Haitians who could be deported in this country. In the midst of a civil unrest, that's where they would be going if they are sent back to Haiti in August. But some would argue, though, Congresswoman, that their status was never expected to be permanent, and some have actually been here for over a decade. So what's your response to that?
Well, we can always look at extending it, and we see the issues going on in Haiti. But the truth is, this is going to be a huge economic impact on our economy. Most of the Haitians are working in construction, and in Florida, we have a severe downsize or not enough employees working in construction. Now we're going to have close to 500,000 pulling out of construction projects, but we're also having to deal with the compound effects of Venezuelans who've been denied a TPS also, and they're leaving as early as April, and there's 600,000 of that. So together, putting those numbers together, we're looking at over 1 million people who will have to make a mass exodus who are working in construction and hospitality. Huge economic ramifications.
Well, this is going to open up doors for many other Americans to have those jobs that were seemingly unavailable to them because of underpaying them and allowing the immigrants to take over and replacing them. So I'm not mad at some of these people being deported because it opens up for Americans to get these jobs that they used to have. A lot of Black American men used to do construction, and now you see a lot of Latinos and other groups of people that are doing construction and taking the jobs from Americans. So this opens up the opportunities for Americans to get these jobs again.
Especially for our businesses, and we have to be ready for that.
Absolutely.
In a better way.
So let's break this down because Miramar itself has the largest Haitian community outside of the country. So help us understand, even in a micro version of this, the effect that this will have on South Florida.
Well, many of our businesses, they rely on TPS workers. And so what you're going to find is more people not going to work. And by August, they're completely not going to work. So those companies, those developers who are building housing, we have a huge housing shortage. You're not going to see them. Haitian people are...
Again, there are other people that will take over those jobs. So I don't know what she's talking about. She acts like nobody is going to want to take over those jobs. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be lines and lines of men that will take those jobs.
The entire South Florida up to West Palm Beach. So that's going to have huge effects on people who are relying on housing, all of our projects. And then hospitality. Most of our economies run on hospitality. Huge number of Haitian people who work in hospitality and in healthcare. And all of them have papers to work, working papers, and now they're going to have to leave. We need to think these things out because we're seeing many casualties. We're seeing a lot of collateral damage, and it's going to be the American people who will suffer it. And I think at the end of the day, the American businesses who are going to be devastated need to speak up. We've been fighting for this over and over, but I haven't heard the businesses who are going to be decimated speak up.
Congresswoman, what do you want then? How long do you want it extended? Because it's not supposed to be permanent.
Absolutely, until the country is ready to take back their actual citizens, and that's the whole point of TPS. We have a really good argument why we need to extend TPS. It wasn't done haphazardly. It's because the government isn't at the place where it could protect its people, and we were trying to prevent a mass migration, illegal migration, and that's why it was put in place. But if you look at the legal standards for extending TPS, it's all there. So you're going to see more cases, legal cases, actually petitioning a stop to this, a freeze to it, because right now it's looking like the extension, which is by the discretion, should have been permitted like it was and shouldn't have been cut back.
Okay, we'll watch and see how this plays out. Thank you for your time this morning. We do appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so that's what's going on with the TPS extension. It is not going to be past August of 2025 this year. And a lot of Haitians are really in an uproar over that. Now, I found a video that was very interesting. A Jamaican was making a complaint about her supposed best friend reported her to ICE, y'all. Her best friend is not so much of a best friend to report her to ICE. So I want to let you guys hear what she has to say. She does speak with a deep accent, so it might be hard to really get all of her words, but you will hear her frustrations as she expresses herself and what happened to her. But yeah, not a lot of people are really concerned about these mass deportations, including her friend. Let me see. Let me talk about this.
So a few weeks ago, my friend reached out to me for some money. But let's go back a little bit. Since I come up here, I make it my parental duty, and I'm not going to say every 2 weeks, but at least once a month, I would send my friend money. That same friend. Now, a few weeks fast forward, about 5 weeks or 6 weeks ago, she reached out to me for some money. I turned to her and said to her, I'm moving, and anybody know, but just I come from Washington, where it's a different story. So I never did a work when she linked me. And I turned to her and said, I want to move the money to my account, because in America, you have to have at least 3-4 times, especially when you don't have the certain documents that they want for you to rent the place. You have to have certain amount in your account. And I never want to move the money, because with moving and everything, and now we're in a show, I never want to move the money. But I did have a cash out from my previous video, them forget, plus one person owe me some money. So I'm like, listen, I can't be able to never tell us I can't do it for the time when you want it for. So figure out that what we make it reach you. So now keep in mind, I never give her a time or a date. See? So let's fast forward to about in the same week, about 5 days or run off. She linked me, she said, yo, Kizzy, and I make me get this. I'm say, my mama tell us me up me away put a cash out, and somebody give me money, but anybody know when I deal with Jamaica, they will tell us that I'm give you the money upon the 14th and all the 20th, and I get the money. So I never give her the time. So I try my best, but my mama tell us that I move and right now my stress level high, because me I look on place, I not get no on me, just those more work, so you know my stress level high. She said, all right, no problem. No, my birthday passing at the same time. Everything. She not reach out, she not say nothing from me. Tell her so I can't do it another time. She not link me back, she not say if no good, she not check for me. Remember me tell her other things when I go through. She not reach out. So, you know, myself, like, myself and I say, yo, more than one time you show me, say, like, you don't know a real friend. I have your back, you know, but you don't have for me. Like, you don't have for me back, shoulder, foot, nor leg. So it's like, you know, the moment me I say to myself, say, yo, you know, me not say that the money, but I never say it to her. I say, you know, when she feel like to reach out to me, then we make she get the money, and make she tell her my mind, and then if I feel like I still do it. Remember, I don't owe this girl no obligation. It's just for the fact that I'm coming for it, and she's my best friend. I thought Peter here was my best friend. So the fact that I make it to a certain level, I'm like, all right, cool. Me will send her some money every 2 or 3 weeks when me I send, you know, when me I send money for my daughter, me make sure say, you know, remember you're somewhere in the month. So when she linked me, I couldn't do it, see? So my birthday passed, everything go by, she not say nothing to me, I said, I link her. Now, we don't know, say a couple days now, Trump and him deportation and the artist topic fear for Jamaica we never travel yet. Them I wish everybody don't fall. The first country we see where just can't wait for everybody just fall because then not get the opportunity as yet. They just can't wait enter. Anyways, one video go viral from a Jamaican content creator. We now call him one Jamaican content creator and him just give tips on like I say, yo, just do this and do that in place. So going back home no look so hard. So the video did pop up one time a day at work, one 3D work. I never listen to it, but it pop up this morning when I lie down in a bed. So me I go through the comment section and think, me I check out the video and think. Tell me why when I scroll about 20 odd comments down, I see my friend profile picture. So never read what she said. And I kid you not, friend of 20 years, almost 20 years, but we already talked 20 years. Friend of 20 years of this September will be 20 years. My friend say, they want them hold my friend, which is me, put on plane, and she forced it on the plane and come on yard. So I don't know. Me dig deep up on the comments them and some people say yes and I right back home. These some people say with friends like this you don't need enemies and some people are dragger and things. Somebody even ask and say your friend no say I wish deportation for her. My friend of almost 20 years reply to one of the comment section where say with friends like this you don't need enemies or say when they got foreign, they beg them money. They must say no. So they will put it together and say, all the fact me knows that me now, one, she don't have nobody else a foreign, not even family. One, you're the older family, you know if she having for the America. Two, you confirm so the money women have said they make you wish deportation. No bitter gas, like I said this thing, I never drag up on the internet because we had something. I hold the 20 years to my heart, so I'm not going to roast you or drag you. I could, I should, but I'm not going to. But let's say this to you, Pete, again. For over the years, I've been holding you down. Right down, like glue and down. For the years, when it comes to money and investing in your future, you've always chosen man over the fact that I'm elevating and I want you to win so bad. That's me not try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Me not try 10 times with you.
Well, I don't know how much of that y'all understood, but her friend turned her into deportation or ICE, and she's venting about what had happened. It was kind of hard to understand her, but she's not too happy with her best friend turning her in. But it is what it is. People are not that loyal when it comes to these mass deportations, and I'm not surprised if that friend made some money. I don't know if they got $1,000 or what they're doing to cause her to do that. I mean, wow. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat room before I continue. What's up, Pinky Wells? Thank you for coming through. Realist American says, I don't understand why people are so scared of going home. I know, isn't that crazy? We they talk so nice about their home countries when they're in America and online, but when it's time to go home, then they're really cop and pleas about this and that and the other. It is kind of contradictory, because we hear them talking with their flags flying around and they talking about we so proud of our home countries and you guys ain't got no home in America. And it's like, we're from America. What are you talking about? And these mass deportations are pointing that fact out to them even more now, because they now realize that we are at home, because we're not being deported nowhere because we're home. All this talk for years on social media about Black Americans don't know where they come from. Apparently, we are home. Mass deportations are telling y'all where we from. Luke says he did say that he would do this, but he did it immediately upon election by executive order. No preparation time. He just declares things by executive order like king. Yeah, he did, but you have to be a little fair. because he did talk about it the whole entire campaign, and it took many months before it came to him signing that executive order. So in his mind, that was the preparation time, while he was campaigning, while he was talking about it. That was the preparation time. And especially come November, when he was made, the elect president, he feels like that gave you the preparation time you needed. November, December, January, 2 months. So, and before that. So he's counting all those months prior to him becoming president. Eats what Fifi says, well, shit happens, okay? All right. And Miss D says, we can get Black Americans to work construction in Miami and Florida. I think so too. And Cajun Filipino says, hey, hi, or hi, hey, your comment was captured in the new FBZI director will be, oh, whatever. Who cares? You can go bye-byes. Let me remove you. What's up, African Goddess? D. Sully says, that's right, these jobs will be open. Exactly. Pinky says, we don't need immigrants working in construction. We need skilled American workers. Exactly. Of the Land says, really, then somebody should inform the fleeing Africans that there are safe places in their countries, if that's true. Exactly. Brent says, make it make sense. D says, that's right. Tell the truth. Tell that truth. They don't want to do construction. Eats what Fifi says. Who don't want to do construction? I'm sure if you give them the right pay, you will persuade anyone, if not most of them, to want to work in construction. Luke says, all for shock tactics. It appears to make him look powerful, and everyone gets to feel catarrhus. Okay. All right. I don't know what that is. Luke says, what's up, Of the Land? How are you? Thank you for coming through. You said, what? Luke says, what you gonna do about it, Dens? Well, I don't think it's worth it. I don't know what you mean by that, Luke. Pinky says, in California, you see only 1 or 2 white men on construction site supervisors. Exactly. They're all supervisors. Most people that are working construction are the melanated people. D says Black men were the number one doing those jobs. Yeah, they used to be. Joey says, get the illegals out by any means. Okay. Hot Dog says, I live in Florida and that woman is full of it. You think so? Piggy says, all those Haitians can go home and build housing and hospitals for their people after they get through their battle that they're doing with that. What's his name? I can't remember that guy's name. That is a gang member. That's the head of the gang member. You know who I'm talking about. He is, of course, doing his own thing. Let me see if I can find a video of him. Haitian. Do you guys know the name of that guy that is raining havoc in Haiti right now? What is his name? It misses me just a little bit. Of the Land says many of the construction sites don't want to hire citizens because they want to underpay people. Exactly. Barbecue. Yeah. Oh Lord, I can't remember that name because it's so ridiculous of a name. Barbecue. Yeah. He is raining havoc in Haiti right now. And I don't know when things are going to simmer down, but that's not our problem. Trump doesn't see it as his problem, obviously. Brent says DEI deport every illegal. D says yes, so they can keep all the money. Pinky says no more TPS for anyone. Fight for your country and build your country. America is full. Luke says this will make things expensive of the land, but it's true there should be regulations for this sort of thing. Eric says cultists mad. I don't know what that means. Joey says those people do not have a single country that isn't a third world dump. Daisy says, so do you know of the faith of African Americans? Well, first off, Daisy, we don't like being called African Americans, most of us. Only the ones that are clueless, lost, or Pan-Africans like to be called African Americans. But if you're talking about Black Americans or Indigenous Americans, yes, we have a lot of faith, but what's that got to do with anything right now? I don't know what you mean by that. Luke says, but they will have to source labor from Americans or work visa and pay them better, which will increase costs of construction. Pinky says those Haitian men need to be at home fighting the way American men will be if we have a war. There won't be a TPS for American men to hide. Exactly. D says these Jamaicans hate us too. Bye. A lot of them do hate us, and I think it has a lot to do with our birthright here in America. We have never had to scramble about. We have never had to be transported anywhere, and they feel envious about that, I believe. African Goddess says every country has nice parts. The whole country is never a dump. That's simply not true. Luke says slow things down and make business more expensive, but there are some super rich who would afford it. Harder to compete with those guys if you're a small business. What's up, Bruce? How are you? Pinky says, of the land been paying low wages to construction workers in California for years. A lot went to work in Florida when Sandy DeSantis ran the illegals out. And all right, welcome back everybody that has been here in the chat room chatting and in the clouds. If you have not yet, please hit the like button. I would greatly appreciate that. D says all these nail shop workers never went to nail school, killed the American nail techs from making money. Bye. You got a good point there. That's a great point. Of the Land says the pandemic made it appear that there wasn't enough workers when actually they weren't allowed to work. The businesses wanted this so they could hire non-citizens for less. Wow. Piggy says all this work these people do here, they need to do at home. Yeah, that's true. Miss D says, yeah, I was over there. Okay. Luke says everyone else think they won. They won fit a S while till the truth sets in. I'm not quite sure, Luke, what you mean. Bruce says, you're always so friendly and inviting. I love chatting with you. You're smart, informed, and nice. A triple threat to Pinky. Okay, that's a nice compliment. Bruce says, what's the topic today? Well, today we are talking about the mass deportations that are taking effect because of Trump's executive orders and what he promised in the campaign trail. And obviously it's affecting other melanated people in America. And I wanted to broach the conversation also about why many of us are not concerned for these other melanated people going back home because of how they've been talking reckless on social media, how they have looked at us and said we don't have culture, say that we're not a people, say that we ain't shit, on and on and on and on and on and on, say that we don't need reparations. Then some Africans are trying to hijack any possibility of a reparations. And they're talking about we are nothing unless we identify as Africans. And all this kind of conversation on social media has really rubbed us the wrong way. And we do not really have an emotion about them being deported. So that is partly the conversation that I'm also having as of late. So let's get to the next comment. I hope that makes it clear for you, better for you. Also, I talked before you got here, Bruce, about Trump recognizing Black History Month briefly, only for about 25 minutes. But he did acknowledge, and he's going to make a statue of Kobe Bryant and a couple of other statues, I believe he said. So that's what he mentioned in his reception of the Black History Month acknowledgement. Pinky says, we're all smart. That's why it's an inviting space. We learn from each other. Yes, we do. What's up, Ann Hill? Thank you for coming through. Shelley says, my little town of 900 is now 2,700 with all freaking illegal immigrants. They work, get benefits, bull crap, go home. I heard that, Shelley. I can imagine that being frustrating for you. I know that it was very frustrating for people in Springfield, Ohio, to have dropped on them in a matter of 2-3 years, 20,000 Haitians. And I know that his TPS revoking it stemmed from that situation in Springfield, because he did say during the campaign trail that he was going to make sure to cancel the TPS extension and anything related to that, since that is going on in Springfield and the people felt like they were invaded, and they reached out and said that much to him. I don't think he didn't go to Springfield, but they made mention on videos about how frustrated they were with the Haitians taking over their small little space of Springfield, Ohio. And so I do understand that that did happen in Springfield. And so I'm sure there are going to be a lot of people relieved to hear the news of the TPS being revoked or canned as of, I believe he said, will it be August of 2026 or 5 rather. You said, I understand very little. What do you mean, Pinky? You're very smart. Very smart. Luke says the skilled labor is drained to wealthy nations, so you are left with unskilled or incompetent labor and planning. Okay. John says traders. Who's a trader? How so? What do you mean by that? Luke says the lack of funding for trucks, tools, technology, materials for building. Traders, I'm not loyal to anybody other than American first. That's where my mindset is. It's not about being loyal to melanated people, because they're not loyal to us. So that doesn't make sense if you meant me being a traitor to melanated people. I don't have no loyalty to them. They don't have no loyalty to me. Luke says, then lack of, I read that. Pinky says, I understand very little of what she said. Oh yeah, she was kind of hard to understand. There is a global market for those things too, so they are expensive. Okay. And Miss D says, I wonder if the friend was Caribbean also, who has better status here. Sounds like the friend was probably an American. Luke says Google and Amazon went to build all this private infrastructure too. African Goddess says the brain drain is one of the reasons why mass migration is not a solution to poverty in low-income countries. Okay. Luke says, so poor materials substituted. The land says, I came in late, but so far we've covered Trump referring to himself as king, but actually he joked after he did away with congestion pricing by saying, long live the king. Luke says, you think China won't take those people in? They need cheap labor too these days. Yeah, they do forced labor already, Luke, in China with the Uyghurs. I believe they're called. They have cheap labor already there. Luke says they don't accept cheap wages like they used to either. Pinky says a lot of immigrants thought Trump wasn't going to win. They don't know the people of this country. Luke says their country is, yeah, they did believe you're right about that, Pinky. Let me go back. Yeah, they really thought that because of all the dictator talk and all the gaslighting on Trump, saying that he was racist and all that kind of talk, that he wouldn't win. But they didn't understand how bad off we felt America was going in the wrong direction. And so we needed to go extreme with choosing Trump to set it back in the right direction. That's why a lot of us voted for Trump, I believe. You said a lot of, oh, I read that. Their country is actually improving. Luke says, Brian, how do I report them? It's terrible here. Oh, I heard that. There is an ICE number. I don't know what that is, you guys. Maybe if you know the number, you can put it in the chat room for her. SS says, stupid people, country and its government and two different things. You can love your country and your government can persecute you at the same time. Okay. African Goddess says, what do you want to report? A discussion on migration? D says they hired the Mexicans in Utah and those houses are falling down, like really falling down. Okay, so I think I read enough comments because I don't want to lose everybody. Let's now get back to this discussion. Now, I caught wind a little bit of Dennis Sperling's video last night. He came on a little bit later, but he had an interesting topic talking about this topic about why we are not upset with what is going on with these migrants or immigrants, I guess you can call them, or undocumented people. And I want to play a little snippet of what he had to say in this regard, because again, it is we're not unfeeling people, I would say, but we are just indifferent about this topic. And a lot of people really thought that we were going to come out in droves protesting. They thought we were going to be wailing and crying and screaming to the mountains and saying, oh no, not those people. Don't deport those people. Those are my people. We ain't did none of that. We ain't doing none of that, because these people never cared nothing about us. And so in kind, we're paying it back.
Questionable, that means we don't have a question either way. Can you do it or you not do it? That's why they're doing it. But go ahead, little girl.
It's good. And I just want to touch bases on that right there.
What?
This ain't our business.
It ain't our business.
This ain't our business.
Not our business.
We don't have no concern.
None at all.
Just like y'all turn y'all heads when we had to go through our own struggles and trials and tribulations that we still got to face and that we're going through to this day.
The resting in the chat room.
Girl, this ain't our concern.
It's not our concern.
Okay? We don't got nothing to do with this.
Nothing at all. Go.
This ain't about no shade, no racism, none of that.
You got to go.
We have to wash our hands with this situation. What y'all want us to do? Y'all feel like black people are the savior for every other race, but when it comes to us, nobody wants to save us. So what do y'all expect? We just gotta turn the cheek like y'all had to turn the cheek when we was going through the same situation, baby. It is what it is.
It is what it is. You heard what she said. She meant every word of that. You heard what she said. Go ahead. Who else got something to say?
That African Americans have no culture, and that's not the most interesting thing to me at all. We should really do.
That's what y'all say about us. You have no culture until you have to leave it. We all can go back to y'all
research between the pipeline of black men influencers or content creators who are popular and deemed funny, even if they're not comedians. But like at first they start out funny and genuine, and everyone loves them because they seem to be a genuine guy, like King Batch or whatever. And then slowly, little by little, they start promoting and perpetuating like stereotypes that are harmful to the black community, like until that becomes their entire personality. It would be tragic if people start basically associating Kaisanat kind of like content with.
That's what they start doing. They don't understand the culture, so they just start behaving like nocturnal, omnivorous creatures that rummage through your garbage at night. That's what they do. But go ahead.
Batches, because no one likes King Batch's content. Going back to the prior statement, however, I can tell you for sure that even though I never went out of my way to see Kaisanat, whenever I saw him, I never knew that he was Caribbean. I never knew that he was in fact Haitian.
That's because they be faking Black American, and they fake our culture, even though they say we don't have one. But they fake our culture, and then they benefit from it because nobody's really interested in. I'm just be honest with you, they're not really. I don't care if you're from Haiti. I don't nobody want to be like an Haitian. I know we got some Haitians in here. That's what I say, homeboy. But
yeah, I praise the Lord, my God, that I was not never born in Haiti. And that's the truth. We would never want to be considered that, because they have a hard life, a hard plight that is very difficult to navigate as Haitians. And it's very unfortunate about their history. They did something back in the 1800s, I guess. But ever since then, they just have never, ever done anything good, or things have happened bad towards them continuously, from the Dominicans or the DR people neighboring them to what is going on today. And the French, of course, made them pay back their reparations towards what happened with them winning a war against France. And they just never had a good situation. And so I praise God, that I am an American, and I wish that my American people that are suffering from identity crisis would understand a blessing that we have as being Americans to America. it is a blessing compared to many other people that are trying to become us. And we should recognize the blessings that God has given us instead of trying to fight it and deny it and claim that we're everything else but Americans is stabbing your own foot.
Really want to be like y'all at all. They don't. Y'all, I'm just going to be honest. Okay. They want to be like foundational Black Americans, but they don't really want to be like y'all. But go ahead.
His father being Haitian and his mother being from Trinidad. Out of all the times I've seen Kyson out of my For You page,
he's a Haitian Trinidad. But go ahead.
I have never once seen him promote Haitian culture as something he's directly
No
part
money
of. I've always seen him dibble-dabble in other people's cultures, and when I saw him talk about Haitian culture,
no
I
money in
assumed
the
that he was not Haitian himself. Because everything he seems to know about certain cultures is very limited and probably on a surface level. And while we can blame the parents or whatever, he's a grown man with money and resources. He can learn if he wanted to. So that being said,
ignorant as a block of rocks. Go ahead.
For a guy who dibble-dabbles in other people's culture and seems to be disconnected from his own two Caribbean cultures, he seems to have a lot of opinions about a culture that he consistently takes advantage of every day. And when we talk about
Well, she has a lot of opinions about different people, apparently. I didn't think she was going to go in this direction. I haven't watched this portion of the live. When I came to watch some of the live that he did last night, it was towards the end. So I'm trying to catch y'all up. This is about us discussing why many of us do not feel any kind of negativity with mass deportations, is because of the attitudes that many immigrants have towards us. And I'm sure he's going to get back on that subject in just a minute after she gets done with what she's spewing, her rant, I guess this is. But she is talking a lot.
Always taking advantage of our culture, trying to be us, and
African American culture. What do you think we're talking about? We're talking about everything. Look at the clothes he wears. Look at how he talks. Look at his hair. Look at the people he's invited on his stream. You say African Americans have no culture, yet your styles come from them. You say African Americans have no culture, yet your favorite artists and musicians are African American. Your favorite genres of music was probably started by a Black man in America, an African American. And while I'm not African American, so this is not going to hit me nearly as hard as it hits them, because they constantly have to deal with these anti-Black remarks from other people, including other Black people like I said. I'm just going to say that I'm like the nigga that knows nothing about his culture to find what other cultures are. You want to scream and shout that African Americans have no culture? What's Haitian culture? What's Trinidadian culture? Like, you don't know anything about your culture.
Let me fast forward this. He's going off on a tangent. I want him to kind of like make sense like he normally does. Hold on.
Now let's go back to the other young brother, because the other young brother is telling them. What did they say about
us? I had a conversation with one of my African partners, right? And he told me, you know why African people look down on Black people? I said,
why y'all look down on us again? Because did you hear? Hold on a minute. What? Listen. What? Hold on. I need to hear this one more time. They look down on
the ground. It won't even be a toilet.
They look down on Black people in America. But
like you would be shitting in the ground. It won't even be a toilet, and you be
okay. Let's okay. So go ahead. Let's try to say
because y'all are ignorant.
We ignorant.
Y'all don't know who y'all really are.
I know that I want to go use the toilet. I know that. I know that I want to use the restroom, and I want some tissue. Sometimes when I go in the public, I line the toilet with some tissue paper. I would take the time to line the toilet. You see what I'm saying? Because but gosh, I don't know about that, sir. I don't know about all that. I don't know if that's superior. That don't really sound like superior to me. Okay, that not at all. I don't know what y'all would consider superior. But go ahead, let's see what else somebody got to say.
Again, a Black British person opens their mouth and shows again how uneducated they are.
It's 2025. Can we please stop?
Okay, so now the Black British people are catching flames from the Africans. So it's not just the foundational Black America. Okay, it's not just Black folk in America. So basically the Africans, y'all just got smoked for everybody who is not. That's what it is. Y'all just smoking out everybody.
These stupid conversations about Black Brits versus Black Americans. You're telling me one person's opinion is now the barometer for all Black Brits. Like, come on, where's the critical thinking? They keep saying, Black British people haven't.
And you know her people from Jamaica. And she know they don't speak like that in Jamaica. Okay, I'm just going to say, I've been to Jamaica. Okay, I've listened to some of the little Jamaican songs. And they don't speak like that in Jamaica, ma'am. And you know where your mama from. Okay, picnic, that's you. Yeah.
No culture, but technically that can't be true because anytime you gather a people, a culture will be there. Churches have cultures, schools have cultures, political parties have cultures. Why? Because it's a gathering of people. So,
therefore, I command thou to cometh up the side of the hill as I rush down, and do not tarry, as we proceed forth into destiny.
So that's that Black Brits don't have.
He's like going in. I don't know what the hell he's doing so far. He is on something. He must be drinking or something. He's a little bit too happy from my understanding. But let's get to another video. Now, a green card Iraq veteran was actually detained by ICE. And the wife says the husband was told he would not be deported, according to Caribbean from Green Nation Vogue. Let's take a listen to this story. What is going on with some of the melanated people that are being deported or detained by ICE, and why a lot of them are heartbroken about this situation, but we're not heartbroken.
This video is all about a legal permanent resident U.S. Iraq veteran who has been detained by ICE. So let's see what is the real reason why he got detained, because he was at his home, leave to go to the ATM to get himself some cash. Apparently, ICE pulled up, he saw a flashing light, he pulled over, thought it was the police. Then when he pulled over, ICE come out, identify themselves, say a few things to him, and take him into custody where he was being detained. So let's see what causes all of this for a U.S. Iraq veteran. Check it out.
Marlon Paris and his family hoped he'd never see the inside of this immigration detention facility in Florence. But 2 days after President Donald Trump was sworn in, here he was, one of the first to be detained under the new administration.
5 or 6 unmarked SUVs that threw on their lights. He called me and he was like, I think ICE is detaining me. And I'm just like, what?
The Levine man has been in the U.S. for nearly 30 years, arriving as a minor, according to his wife, Tanisha. On his way to pick up some cash at an ATM, Marlon found himself in handcuffs. Tanisha simply told Marlon was on a list.
What list? Don't know.
Marlon has a drug offense he served 5 years for in the 2010s, but he doesn't fit the description of the immigrants Trump promised to target during his campaign.
And we will put these vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail.
His drug offense was nonviolent, and he's an Iraq war veteran.
You have to be a very selfless person to fight for a country that's not even yours.
After he served his time in prison, the family says ICE visited Marlon, telling him he would not be targeted for deportation.
We are awarding you this opportunity to stay in the United States.
But they say that wasn't honored under the new administration.
That's the hardest part that he suffers with, because it's kind of, in a sense, I did everything right, and I'm still in this facility away from my family.
Marlon's experience in the military has made his case unique, leading to veteran groups and elected officials like State Senator Catherine Miranda to search for answers.
He has a legal residency, and so he should not be on alert.
Tanisha and her and Marlon's blended family, hopeful, but preparing for the worst.
This is part of our vows, through thick and thin.
All right, now that you hear what they said.
Now, do y'all feel overall a sense of feel sorry for the couple? Let me know in the chat room, how do you feel? Because I don't feel sorry. I guess he was a drug dealer and he did some time, or maybe was on probation or something. I don't know. But whatever he did has got him on a list, and that list has got him deported or detained right now. So do you guys feel some kind of way about him being a vet? And do you think because he was a vet that he needed to be spared from deportations? How do you guys feel about it? Let me know in the chat. D says, I know of the of the land. My friend went to trade school, black men, top engineer at Tulsa. Okay. Bruce says they said they couldn't afford these programs. Wonder why. Tanya says, Luke Carroll, what problem do you have with Trump? Of the land says, I think she misquoted the Bible when she said we have to turn the cheek. I think that means to allow someone to slap you again. Yeah, she internalized her own Bible verse. In other words, we're not spared from being slapped in the face. So in other words, you're not going to be spared from being slapped in your face. You don't stop the slap in our face. We're not going to stop the slap in your face. Is her definition of the Bible verse. Let me see. Angela says people need to change their attitude and their life will change. Stop blaming others for your demise. How is people wanting a better life for themselves causing our problems? Well, it's causing problems because, Angela, honestly, when you have too many illegals here, they're actually replacing the Americans from jobs, from housing, from having problems with schooling. You have a lot of illegals that can't even speak English, and they go to schools and they give problems to the American people, little kids, from having proper education, for instance. So it is imposing on our ability to have kids to learn the right way, for instance. So it is problematic when you have too many all at once coming through the system here in America. And that is what Trump is dealing with. The fault of it all is Biden and Harris for allowing 4 years of having these people allowed to just come through unvetted, don't even know who they are, where they come from, what they're about, what their intentions are. It is eroding our American society. So they needed to be dealt with, and that's how it does impose on the American people overall. It's a big weight that is being lifted by Trump. Bruce says he pretended to be a freed American slave, went to the English and told them. They in turn asked him to report on the American strategy. The entire time he was telling the American England's plans. Okay. I don't know who you guys are talking about, Bruce. Why would they say that? Okay. The land says, yes, we should all be proud of being Americans, but some don't. And will go as far as to make like they are Caribbean, as if it's better to be that. I know, isn't that crazy? Tanya says, Bruce, I believe Johnny didn't understand your comment. Okay, you guys are talking among yourself. Okay. Let me see. Two Tone says, y'all ain't as because you realize he was right the first time, not crying racism anymore, are you? I'm not crying racism. What are you talking about? All right. Tethers or more Ovaltine. Thank you for coming through. Oh, what's up, Laura Makes a Way? How are you doing? I don't like Dennis Sperlin. I remember him trying to be a Kevin Samuels after he passed. Yeah, I didn't really like him, but some of the things that he's been speaking on has been on point, but he's gotten a little bit silly in that video. I didn't see that part of the video. That was kind of ridiculous. Bruce says Kevin Samuels told it like it is. Rest in peace. Pinky says, I got put in timeout over there because I responded to a male talking about women's hair. Oh, really? Miss D says, Caribbean people went there in the wind rush. They didn't say black back then. No, they didn't. Dennis is a tether. He claims to not be a tether, though, Laura Makes a Way, but I suspect that he is Dominican. I know that he called himself trying to be a rapper, and he seemed to be speaking Spanish and stuff like that. So I don't know. But he claims to just be a Black American. Now he's calling himself a foundational Black American. He's a dope dealer, Laura Makes a Way says. If it's not yours, you're not a citizen, Miss D says. Pinky says, Kevin Samuels, didn't he drag black women? I didn't like him. Red pill BS. Yeah, he did pretty much down a lot of women to make them feel like they weren't as good as they thought they were. He was okay with me, but I wasn't a big fan, I would say. All right, let me see. You said she can go back home with him. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. You said not in the least bit. No, they can both go, they could both leave. No, he can go back with him. Oh, you guys are saying the same thing. Miss D says there has been vets who served that war from Latin America that was deported after they served in the armed forces. Laura Makes a Way says he needs to go. I feel nothing for him. Pinky says green card holders that committed felonies are being deported. Daisy says I feel he needs to pay the price for wrongdoings. Tahanga says I feel nothing. It is what it is. Exactly. That is the sentiment of most of us. Like I've been saying, I believe that most of us don't feel sorry for them because of how they have been talking reckless and stuff like that. I mean, more times than not, we hear so many immigrants trying to persuade Black Americans to go to America. I want you guys to take a listen to what happened with Tariq Nasheed that had on his show recently, talking about us going to Ghana to get citizenship and move, and they are obsessed. I don't get it. They are so obsessed with us going somewhere other than staying in America, and I know that is some type of plan that they have for us. Like, they're obsessed with us too much. Hold on.
Let me get Nakeem in here.
Hey, Mr. Nasheed, how you doing, Mr. Nasheed?
I'm good, man. How are you, Nakeem?
I'm doing pretty good, sir. I have a couple questions, sir. I'm trying to stay on topic here. It sounds like, to answer your question with the planes and everything, it sounds like it's inside. It's like it's coming from the inside out. It's like America against its own people. And it's basically sounding like, sir, your country's falling, sir, and it's time to come back home, sir.
And where's that?
Well, you can get your citizenship in Ghana, sir. You can start there.
Okay.
And bring your family on down to Ghana and get away from there's no plane crashing and no people killing each other.
How come you not over there?
Well, I'm kicking it in New York right now, sir. So, all right. And my next question, sir. My next question.
No, I'm gonna need you to go over there and get it popping, and then show us the way. So we're gonna let you lead by example.
You used to be with Umar, man. Why you leave your boy Umar, man?
I used to be with Umar. What are you talking about? I used to kind of trolling that.
You used to be. Let's come back to Africa. Your first Hidden Colors, man. You kind of jumped ship.
And I'm about to get up and go back to no damn Africa. Never. I ain't never said that ever. So don't lie. No, we don't want.
Well, you was pro-Africanist when you first came out. Let's be honest.
I don't have a problem with Africa now. I don't have a problem with Africa.
So let's just come back home, sir. Obviously, America is about to fall.
Then why are you here?
And we can come back home together, sir. We can come back.
If it's about to fall, why did you flee here? If it's about to fall, why did you flee here? Come on, Nakeem. If
I can't help where I was born, sir.
So you're an anchor baby. So yeah, they anchored you here for a reason, brother. They anchored you here for a reason. It wasn't popping where your family was from. All right.
So don't try to convince us.
But you hear this. This guy is African, but he was born in America, but he's sitting up on platforms such as Tariq Nasheed trying to convince us to go to Africa when he is in New York. This is what we're talking about. They debate with us all the time about going and visiting and contributing and investing and doing all this stuff for Africa, yet they don't do it. And they won't do it. And I'm sick of them. And this is why a lot of us are tired of hearing from these people on social media. And this is why a lot of us are numb to them being deported. We're like, stop already.
To go somewhere where your family had to flee, right?
Well, sir, you see you're going to stay in LA, and you don't know if your house is going to burn up, or you hop on the plane, you don't know if it's going to crash. So I guess you better hop on the bus on to Africa, sir.
Well, sir, we'll wait on you to go.
Or you can take a boat.
We'll wait on you to go, and hopefully the bushmeat don't burn out. All right. Let me get some more people in here. I don't want to hear bushmeat babble.
That's what we have to deal with all the time, everywhere you go. So I want you guys to listen to Kanzarian Empire. He did a live the other day. Well, not the other day, maybe 4 days ago. And a lot of discussions over Black versus Africans come up on this platform. And let me find it. It was interesting because there was a Hispanic guy that was defending us, and he felt like we were being disrespected. And I want to play a little clip of that if I can play that. Okay, I'm not going to be at the beginning of the live. It's going to be kind of like in the middle. Hold on. But I want you guys to get a glimmer of an understanding about what happens on these platforms and how we seem to always end up becoming the topic. He had the conversation be, is Trump dividing Black, white, and Latino Americans? Are Latinos just white, Bantus, and Crucites real? And we are always implicated in these conversations over and over and over again. It's like an obsession. It's like they only get paid unless they are gaslighting or talking about Black Americans. And it's very frustrating because they should be advocating for what's going on in Africa, truth be told. Like, I shouldn't even bring up what happened in Congo. I shouldn't have to. If they were doing their job talking about the beheading of 70 Christians. But no, they don't talk about what's going on in Africa all the time. They talk about it every blue moon. But they stay talking about Black Americans. And this is why I feel like many of us are sick and tired of many of these immigrants here in America, because they have been boistering about how much better they are compared to us.
Americans or African Americans, migrants or not. And the question was, where is the most success? And Mike and brother Ola Kadola, as Only Me said, I know she was just addressing Mike, but my opinion is, I feel like you guys are just placating exactly what Goat's talking about. Why is there so much hatred towards the Black people in, the foundational Black Americans? Why is there so much hatred towards them? Like, what's the deal?
From who?
I mean, like, let's be real. Kay, I got love for you. Kay, I got love for you. But you said something. No, Mike, like, you just asked me a question, so let me answer it. Kay, you made a great point, and it made me go like this. My mic was muted, but I was like, because it's really controversial what you said, Kay, but it's true. Why is it that the Black Americans, who are the most influential, have such a self-destructive and lost tribe, as opposed to the tribes from Africa that are coming here and not affiliating with that? And I think Go had a great argument for why that is, but you guys are like creating this friction between them, right? And I'm done.
Okay, let me explain something, guys. Listen, the United States is the most influential country in the world. So by virtue of that, if you're an American, whatever you do or anything in America will be more promoted in the world. And the United States has the largest media
companies that, pretty much marketing whatever it is that they do to the work. So by virtue of that, if you're an American, whether you're a Chinese American, Indian American, Black American, Nigerian, hold on, calm down. Nigerian American, any American you are, anything you do, you're likely going to be seen all over the world. Like, for example, I can use a Nigerian American, well, I don't know if he's an American yet, like they play basketball, Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? If he was playing his basketball in Nigeria, the whole world would not know who he is. But because he plays his basketball in America, the whole world knows who he is. So, by virtue, what we can argue is that America is the most influential country in the world. So if you're an American, anything you do, because by virtue of being an American, the whole world will notice you. So does that mean you as an individual, you are better than somebody from another place? No. Your nationality. Hold on. Let me let you start my point. Give me a chance. No, he's making a good point. Is greatness by your nationality or by your own individual? Is superiority by nationality? I don't know. If that's what you want to define it, I will agree with you. If you're saying who's more superior than the next, a man who's more superior than the next person is by your passport or your nationality, then I would say, yeah, you're making an argument. But if you want to see and tell me that who's more superior as a human being it's just based on your own individual effort or anything. No, I agree. Don't come here and be telling me that because I'm from here, I'm better than the next person. Hell no, you're not.
No, we're not saying that.
Hold on.
No, let me finish this. Yeah, what you just said is really supporting what I'm saying. You out your own mouth said America is the most influential place in the world. Okay? Yeah. Second of all, how you said, it's a guy who plays basketball from Nigeria. The rest of the world knows him now, but we wouldn't know him if he's in Nigeria. Well, guess what? I'm American. I don't know who the fuck you're talking about. And whoever you're talking about, the Nigerian basketball player, I'm almost positive unless he's in the NBA, none of us know who the fuck he is.
Dikembe Mutombo. Do you want
and also, guys, one second, Mike. Just so we know, right, this is Mike's tribe. This is the largest slave trader tribe, so that's why we need to know where Mike is coming from.
Welcome back, as always. We're going to be talking about slave traders in Africa. First, we're going to talk about the oil empire. The empire was powerful. It was a Yoruba state, right? In the modern country of what we now know as Nigeria, in that region. This empire began around 1300s in that West African region, in the savannah around the north. And of course, a lot of Yoruba people lived there. The interesting thing about the oil empire is that they were using armored cavalry, and the empire was able to extend its reach across parts of what is now known as northern and western Nigeria.
I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. He's tripping.
Trying to bring about is ironic because we're more racist towards ourselves than anyone else. It's called the caste system. So you just debunked yourself by proving you weren't listening, and also by assuming, Mike. Don't do this. Also by assuming that Indians are more racist to blacks than themselves. Have you heard of the caste system?
You guys are the greatest chameleon. You will when you're on this platform, you will pretend you support this. Then when you move to another platform, you pretend you're on the white side. So that's how you I have noticed that.
I got rated Nigerian. I got rated here by Flow State. I get put backstage every 5 minutes on Flow State, which is a majority white channel, for calling them out for their white privilege. So fuck you and your African doucheness for trying to talk shit about black Americans. Because this whole thing. This whole thing. Okay, yeah. Okay, get it out. This whole thing has been based on Kay not leaving his home because he wants to just be there and help it, as opposed to you guys trying to be white, as opposed to us in America trying to be successful regardless of your bullshit.
So Nigerian first made a false statement. Gang is not the best comedian. The best comedian is me.
Shadow and also, honestly, man, I thought you would be very intelligent.
Okay, Mike, give me a second. Guys, 1 second. The slave auction is now open. You can send money on PayPal or buy me a coffee. If you want to remove your favorite panelist, it's $1 per minute or $50.
Referencing slave plantation auction and all that was really wild. I'm gonna fast forward it because it gets a little bit more heated later. I'm trying to find this one time where a Black American came on there. I forgot what the timestamp was. Hold on. Let me just play. Where did it go?
At first you was kind of defending. You right, you was defending. But now when I came back, you were literally calling a black man a nigga. You not I get what you're saying, but you gotta listen to what you're saying too, bro. Can't nobody take you serious and really say, oh,
wait. Hold up. Are you talking about when I was just dropping nigga like in passion?
Kato, can I get up real quick? Let me just say my piece because I don't know.
No, hold up. Are we gonna pretend like?
Okay, go ahead, and we'll let Punjabi go ahead after you. Go ahead, brother.
Salute. So what Punjabi MC over here is doing is virtue signaling. He's trolling us.
1 second, just before that, right? Kaisarian Empire is not a racist platform. We do not hate on any race, whether black, white, Indian, Chinese, whatever it is that your creed is. We love and respect everybody. The information that comes out by the panelists is not the message that Kaisarian Empire believes. We believe in free speech. We're simply exercising the fundamental rights, whichever First Amendment, wherever the hell that shit is, right? We are here to have conversations to make the conversation go further, right? We are not racist, and we love the gays, the Jews, the blacks, the Indians, everybody, right? We love everybody. Go ahead, Chip.
Salute. And the thoughts and opinions of the panelists do not reflect the thoughts and opinions of Kaizo or the chat. So these are my opinions only. So, okay, this guy is virtue signaling and trolling at the same time. So what at the basis of these disagreements and this diaspora war, let's say, is Black consciousness. So Black consciousness is an adaptation that Black Americans have developed to deal with the specific circumstances of slavery, Jim Crow, Willie Lynch, the one-drop rule. The experience of enslavement is different than the experience of colonization. This produces different cultural adaptations. So Black consciousness is a cultural adaptations that Black Americans have that Nigerians don't. Because Black Americans live in a condition of being a racial minority group surrounded by a hostile majority group. Nigerians live in a condition of being the racial majority group where the people who you're hostile against are in your same race. So race doesn't define you to the same extent as other factors like your ethnicity or your religion. So the different tribes in Africa are different. They're different nations. They're different kingdoms, and the separation is not between people who are race is not something that unifies you when everybody's Black. But this is what is being missed here. These are cultural differences that go away after a generation or two once a person comes to the U.S. So a Black American like me, I've been here since I was 5 years old. I am culturally Black in the sense that I understand the Black experience. I don't want to be racially profiled or have, racist things said against me. But there are cultural differences there that people have to come to terms with. And to have an Indian come in here with his virtue signaling does not make sense.
Fuck off, you clown. If your bitch ass was actually here and you would have heard all the racism towards your clown ass, you would have actually agreed with me. But no, you hit the link to get your clout because you probably have a channel, which I don't, and you want to placate this idea that an Indian has no right in the conversation of African blacks and African American blacks.
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Fuck you! Black Americans are leading the way, just like every American, and your bitch ass African hater friends that you wanted to jump on the boat with. Chukwu Ikwe, let me do the shit. Fuck you, bro. You sound like a clown. Shout out to the Black Americans. Fall in line. You're a clown. Black Americans lead the way. Black Americans lead the way. And all the Africans that want to hate. All the Africans. Hey, all the Africans that want to hate on the black success, right? Black excellence. You need to fucking take a seat. Take a seat. And R.I.P. Kobe, bitch. Fuck you.
Bro, R.I.P. to Kobe, but bro, what made you come to this channel? What made you come up here and talk crazy to these Africans?
Again, Johnson, nobody actually listened for the last few hours. It was a full state raid. I don't know you motherfuckers. It was a full state raid, bro. This is a raid. I showed up and shout out to you, bro. I sub to you. I'm always going to be checking into you going forward. But this was a raid. So for you guys to assume...
How long you been watching the channel, too, bro? So you've been watching the channel for a while? You've been in the clouds watching the Africans?
So Big Gang is not being
I just tried to explain to you.
He knows Tyson already. So he's not being completely honest here.
Yeah, I mean...
Savior. Why do we need an Indian savior? Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, my God. This fucking guy. Okay, so how about you...
We already got one.
How about you...
Indian Jesus.
How about you, Chukwu Ikwe? How about you tell all these Africans? How about you tell all these Africans to stop hating on Black Americans? Chukwu Ikwe, because you just showed up 5 minutes ago, dumbass.
Okay, the issue's not with Black Americans.
Weirdo.
FBA ideology. All these people calling people and shit. That's what the issue is. You fucking curry eating bastard. You don't understand what the fuck is really.
So we weren't talking about foundational Black Americans in America today, dumbass. You hit the link 5 minutes ago and you think you know what we're talking about. We were dealing with the Africans that hate on Black Americans because they're lost of the tribe.
You do not. You
stupid clown. You stupid fucking high school dropout. God, do your research before you talk about shit.
Again. And the nigga think he's smart, but he really dumb as shit.
No, I'm dumb as shit. I dropped out of high school. I use my food stamp cards. I use my food stamp cards to get my food.
You're not.
Fuck goats.
Hey,
I'm sorry, gang. We nigga, we black. Get your goat eating ass out this motherfucker. Get your fucking goat ass eating motherfucker.
Around and cross the line and get some right. Why you talking
bitch?
to the
Get
black
your pussy
dude?
ass off the line, bitch. See what y'all niggas where I'm from. I ain't gonna lie.
Bro, that's funny, bro. Africans brought him back, too.
Get your bitch ass off the line. Get your bitch ass off the line.
And maybe this is why Africans feel the way they do, right? Because Mark is... talking about the tables being turned.
Think about how Africans feel. We're black Americans.
You're in the wrong
niggas, bro.
You're in the wrong.
Get your bitch ass off the line, bitch.
Why?
Get the step, bitch.
Why? Give me one good reason outside of you guys. Outside of you guys scrambling to be on each other's team. Give me one good reason.
I've been keeping
Hold on.
clicking shit.
Wow.
There's a portion of this live that a Black American woman came on and really roasted everybody, and I wanted to play that before I got off of this. I'm trying to find when she came on. Hold on, it's soon.
Hey, bro, remove us.
What was the timestamp for that? Hold on, let me find that. Please hit the like button, by the way. This is just illustrating to y'all why many of us don't have a care in the world when it comes to these mass deportations, because of the attitudes of Africans and the Caribbeans about us. They feel like they're better than us. They feel like they should be schooling us. They feel like they should be our leader, ultimately. I believe that a lot of them think that we should be beholden to their debts in Africa. They always talking about we should be building over there in Africa. What is that? They want us to be debt slaves. But here she is about to go in on these clowns.
and most of these Pan-African flunkies can't stand.
Hold on, let's get to the beginning of when she talked. Hold on. I think she did a good job breaking it down. Okay.
No, you talking about in Georgia? That's the thing. You're not black. That's what we talking about.
Okay, let's just settle it right now. Let's just settle it right now. All the whites that think you blacks don't deserve to be citizens, should it just be for whites and blacks and not anybody else?
What they think, though. That's the thing, though. We don't care. We just, I didn't come up here to talk to other people. They were talking to black people.
Fuck the Constitution. Fuck the Bill of Rights.
It's hard to share that you Hey, Johnson.
Hey, horse riding buck. So here's the reality. Should it just be for whites and blacks? Should it just be for whites and blacks?
Should you go talk to other Indians and Asians?
Why don't you argue with
our situation together?
The real Indians. So should America just be for whites and blacks? Even though the whites think blacks should be blacks.
Why you want to talk on black people beef? Why don't you talk on your people beef?
Probably won't do that. I mean, the whites want black to be slaves, but your bitch ass on a board.
With Africans now, y'all want to be with these other people. Another point and talk shit. And this is what we got, bullshit ass people, because y'all want to let other people that's outside the culture come up here.
American, aka American woman. For you, gang, just to let you know, these guys who you're speaking to, most of them are not American. And number two, Pan-Africanists hate Americans. They hate themselves. So that's the reason why you're getting the pushback, because they don't want to be American, but they're not too keen on moving to Africa. So they sit here and daydream day in and day out, talk shit about Black Americans, especially that one called Chucky. So you'll get a heads up. So you don't really have to defend, but thanks for the defend. I'm glad that an Indian is whipping their ass, because a lot of these punk ass niggas ain't gonna move to Africa, the questions you asked, and they're gonna talk shit. Oh, she got a baby daddy, because that's what the pink panty motherfucker's gonna say. Chucky, my son's father is Caribbean. He's a grown man. But just to give you a heads up, Pan-Africanism is dead, and most of these Pan-African flunkies can't stand Black Americans, but they won't move their dumb ass out of America. So just to give you a heads up, not all of us are with this shit, and they're not like us. We don't fuck with none of them. That's why we're glad a lot of them are getting up out of here. And a lot of these Pan-African flunkies need to take their funky ass to Africa. And Zuzu 21 ain't shit. He ain't a man. So that's why he ain't defending shit, because he wants to lick the balls of Africans, and he don't know where the fuck he from. He don't know where the fuck he's at. So he won't go to Africa. This is America. He ain't going to Africa. He want to sit here and talk shit. And suffices Chucky knowing about us, he ain't us. He got a Caribbean mama and an African daddy, and all of these cosplaying motherfuckers ain't shit. I hope Kaizo get it off on this channel. And if you want to know further about this Pan-African bullshit, come to BSIA's channel. We are true Americans. We love being American, and we know what we fight against here in America as Americans. And I am an American, not an African. I'm indigenous to America, and fuck Pan-Africanism. Fuck these self-hating motherfuckers who want to be African but don't want to stay in their homeland and fight. Y'all all ain't shit, and you need to stop talking about us like this is a black issue, because it ain't one. And you want to be Africans need to take your ass to Africa, and stay out of AKA Black American descendant of chattel slavery business. Peace out. Thank you. That's all I have to say. Bye.
Again, that is many of what we go through on social media. We have been observing for a while now. I know I've been on YouTube since 2018. And when I came to YouTube is when I discovered this so-called notion of Pan-Africanism talk. And a lot of people were gaslighting Black Americans about visiting Africa, claiming that if we didn't want to visit, that we were self-haters and all this type of thing, that they were trying to rope us around into thinking that we had to go do to appease them like they were our masters or something, or overlords type of thing. And, I started observing different platforms such as Khazarian Empire platforms and many others that were hosting Black Americans on their platforms, and they were Africans, but they were allowing a lot of Africans to attack Black Americans and try to chop us down to size, in other words. And, I started understanding that they were jealous of us. They don't like us being American, and they would love to see us going through these mass deportations that they're going through. And I think that is a reckoning time that they are going through these mass deportations because of all the shit talking that they've been doing. And that's why a lot of us don't care that they are being deported, because it's like, you guys been talking shit about us. Go home. Go home. Do something about your homeland. You got all this pride in your homeland, but you don't want to be there. You don't want to build there. You don't want to sacrifice there. You want to come somewhere where our sacrifices were done and live the better life and talk shit to us and wag your finger at us. And we're sick of that. This is why the sentiment of most of us, not all, but most of us, don't have a care in the world about melanated people, whoever they are, being deported. And that is my opinion. I wonder how you guys are feeling in the chat. I wonder how you guys are feeling in the clouds. Let me know how do you feel ultimately about them being deported? Do you have a care? Let me show you an example of what happens with these mass deportations. They are at an all-time high right now. They got mass numbers that are being kicked out right now. Here is a migrant chase that just recently happened in Illinois. Let me give you an example. They were in some cornfields, I believe, some type of field. But this is what recently happened. They captured this about an hour ago. And this is an example of what they're going through, but we don't care that they're going through it.
Immigration crackdown reaching far beyond the southern border. This is exclusive new video that shows migrants in Illinois leading police on a dangerous high-speed chase. That is a cornfield. Mike Tobin's live in Chicago. What happened here, Mike? Hello.
Well, Bill, you know the Illinois governor and mayor of Chicago are opposed to immigration reform efforts from the Trump administration. But now you've got counties in Illinois who are stepping up to say they've got enough problems and don't want to be a sanctuary.
Troop 5, you just took off on me.
Two Hondurans in the U.S. illegally lead police on a high-speed chase through cornfields an hour and a half outside Chicago.
Hit. Subject is on foot, running northbound through the field. On foot, northbound through the field. Get your hands up. Get them up.
18-year-old Royben Barahona, 23-year-old Christian Arazo Velasquez arrested. 7 pounds of fentanyl found in the car. Three bricks. The Illinois.
And then we have to see all the fentanyl that comes to our neighborhoods behind these illegals. This is why I don't care, because they bring a lot of stuff to our community, and we already have issues enough by our own damn selves to be adding to the mix with drugs such as fentanyl that's killing people. But they found fentanyl in their vehicle.
Safety Act eliminates cash bond. Barahona was released without bail and quickly fled to California. Velasquez is still held in the Grundy County Jail. The county chairman believes they were in Illinois because it's a sanctuary state.
If we had a less welcoming state for illegal immigration, I don't know if they would have been traveling those roadways.
The irony is it all happened in Grundy County, the first county in Illinois to push back against the Democrat governor and pass a resolution declaring the county does not welcome illegal migrants. As a result, when migrants from Texas were bused to Chicago and surrounding suburbs, Grundy County never received a busload.
And the results speak for themselves, as we haven't had the problems that other counties, municipalities have had by not being non-sanctuary.
Now, dozens of Illinois counties reached out to Grundy, copied their language, and passed their own non-sanctuary resolutions. Now, incidentally, Marijuana was picked up in California. He's held for another incident in San Francisco. ICE issued a detainer for Velasquez, requesting that they get notification if he will be released. But Grundy County officials cannot grant that request. That would be a violation of the Illinois Trust Act, which prevents local police from communicating with their federal counterparts over immigration matters.
I mean, really interesting story. Can't go forever in a corner.
Okay, so let's see what you guys have to say in the chat room, and then I'm going to conclude this live. I really wish that I had StreamYard to open up a panel to talk about this more, but I think that I touched base on the sentiment of most of us. Again, there are a few Pan-African types that feel, oh, these are our brothers and sisters, we're a global family and all this type of bullshit, but they ain't gonna want to go where they're going. They definitely ain't gonna want to go where they go. And when it's all said and done, they're comfortable in America, and this is home to them too, even if they talk shit about it. But they constantly wag their fingers and talk shit and say, oh, kumbaya, my lord, we're all one melanated people, when it's not true. It's not true. Look at Haiti, look at Jamaica, look at Africa. Where is the so-called unity? You only have Burkina Faso that's doing major things with Mali and Niger. And they have ventured on a new path recently. And maybe they will capture the other countries of Africa to do the same. I don't know. But it causes for them to do sacrifices and not be greedy and not go counter against what the people need. And I'm not sure if all other countries of Africa are willing to get away from taking and stealing from the people. It remains to be seen on how they're going to respond. Look at Congo and how Rwanda is interacting with Congo right now. That's going to be a major issue pretty soon. Well, it is right now. What am I talking about? Pretty soon it is. Let me see. Bruce says, China is no different. Children making tennis shoes, Nike tennis shoes, painting all the hand-painted figurines. What have Africans created? Laura Makes a Way says, what have they contributed to society except babies? I don't see much. When you go look at the continent overall, they are begging for others to come through and help support building and developing what is going on over there. That's why I can't understand why people keep on saying that they created civilization. Like, where is their civilization at? We should be, running over there in droves. If they were developed, if they had their shit together, it would be the opposite. Africans would be running back to Africa. They wouldn't be fleeing. Bruce, I almost commented that also, my friend. It breaks my heart, Tanya says. JG says, in South Africa, there is an apartheid that targets white Danish farmers who have lived there for generations. Okay. Bruce says, what do you mean blacks have contributed greatly to this country? Yes, they have. And a lot of them don't think we have. And that's what gets us into arguing, because they say, oh, you guys ain't did nothing except by force. But we have many inventions as well. Talk about that part. Many inventions. Many people have done major things. We have helped build civilization and civilize many things, many people over here in America. We have stopped all that riffraff, nonsense, with the lynchings and the racism and slavery and all that. All that ceased, with our contributions as well in our fights. Tanya Neal says they need to make more babies, and they have contributed so much to our country. From inventions to NA and NASA, all kinds of things. Yes, we have. Bruce says, you mean Africans in Africa? I misunderstood your statement. I think she means Black Americans. All right. Of the land, says the Africans said Black Americans were the missing tribe. that's probably what the problem is. They should stop seeing us as one of their tribes and just as Americans. That's the problem. They're trying to remake us into what they want to create us into being for their benefit, not ours. Because if they can make us into Africans, they think that we are beholden to them and that they need to be reigning over us. That's what they want to do. They don't want to like have a better life for us. They want us to serve them. That's my opinion about their perception of us. Not all, but the ones that talk down to us, the ones that are trying to get us to go develop Africa really think that we should be serving them and servicing them for the betterment of them and not us. They're like, we need to utilize you guys like you guys were utilized in America. That's how they look at us. You said, I love this channel, the content, the people, everything. Thank you, Bruce. I really appreciate you. More overtime, please, says Hindu Grifter. Be careful, y'all, with him, gang. I know it was kind of funny, though, but he had a lot of passion to talk for us. They are jealous. Laura makes a way. Tanya says, Bruce, same here. I make sure when I see her live, I come in a good group of peeps. Thank you for that, Tanya. The Land says, did the degenerate just say the slave auction? Yes, he did. His mindset is why most of Africa is in the condition that he is. He think he's trying to be funny. That's Khazarian Empire's platform. If you guys want to check it out, it is by Khazarian. I don't know how to spell it. Let me see. I can tell you how to spell it. But he has a lot of different Africans on there, primarily a lot of Nigerians and many others that go on there. It's spelled, for those that want to check him out sometime, Kaizorian, Empire. And also Chaotic Truth is another platform. He is a Nigerian that constantly brings up Black Americans, constantly gaslighting us. And what they don't realize is that is putting a target on our back to be more targeted and hated. They don't see it that way. They look at it as a way of making money, but it's actually putting a target more on our back. And I've been wanting to talk to them about that, but they are in it for the money. They're not in it to try to be decent. But they don't understand that many people look at these platforms and they find ways of hating us even better. Bruce says, most have a victim mentality. When you stay in that mindset, you stay in that situation. Right, virtual signaling and trolling at the same time. Yes, it was. Bruce says, I feel like family here, and that is awesome. Thank you for that, Bruce. Tanya says, wait, have what you love, Bruce, and not me. I'm just trolling. Of the Land says, yes, they do. And instead of seeing one another as a commodity to sell, they should be learning how to process the commodities of their continent and sell them. They should learn what they need to learn from the West and take it back to Africa, but they refuse to go. They want others to do the lifting, the hard lifting, and the sacrifice that they refuse to do. And they're looking at us as a way to lift up what they will not lift up. And it's like, we did not designate ourselves as being your slave or bitches or hoes. Stop envisioning us sacrificing for you. That is not what we came here to do. That is your plight to do. And if you refuse to do it, then I guess Africa will never rise. But many Pan-Africans have designated Black Americans to be the sacrifice for Africa. And that's not what I co-sign for. My platform is to illustrate and showcase what the mentality is like over there as far as Pan-Africans are concerned, and these so-called leaders that look at us as a money bag, money grab, how Ghana treated us in the year of return, and how they continually come to us for all these schemes and scams, land grabs and land scams, and telling us to develop this and develop that, Look at what happened with Michael Blackson and how he was tricked and scammed. And I'm pretty sure many other Americans were treated the same way with those Euro bonds. And I'm trying to tell my people to steer clear of Ghana, because all they've been doing is using us and spitting us out one by one by one. They don't care about our existence like that. They only want you if you got a lot of money. They want the celebrities, they want the superstars, they want the singers, they want all the people with millions and billions of dollars, so they can use all that money and garner more of support to help develop and pay back their debt towards China, IMF, and World Bank. And I'm not here for that. We should not be here for that. Okay, let's see. All right, let me see. I'm going to find a comment. Oh, the land says, Gang made some good points. Who is that attacking him? A panty want to be African? More than likely. Miss D says, Chuku always on BSIA channel trying to say we African. Everyone, FBA is a cult and not another way to say Black American. Yeah, they're jealous because, again, I feel like the Africans feel like they need to have control over us, and that's why they want to identify us as being African, so that they can have more of a control in their mind over us. But we're not going for that. We're not African. You said incel channels. These fellas is all incels, obsessed with FBA. Yes, they are. Bruce says, as far as I'm concerned, if you were born here, you're American. The prefix Black or African doesn't need to be there, but that's just me. I don't say my Black friend. I understand what you're saying, Bruce. The only reason why I do that is because many people come to this platform, and this is Black History Month. I'm trying to get away from saying Black American, but it's kind of hard because it's been ingrained in me to say since I was born. I've been saying Black American since I was yay high, and it's kind of hard to get away from that. But what I ultimately mean is that we are American. And most of all, that is the most important word in the sentence, American, as identifying me. Whatever I say attached to it, what's the most important word is American. The land says, yes, she's correct. Pan-Africans basically hate themselves and are useless to their own people. Yes, move to Africa and leave us alone. Exactly. Tanya says, I'm down to listen to this. She's going to shut them down. Yes, she is. Yes, she did. You said the romance about Africa, they victims. Yeah, the romance about it, worship in Africa doesn't benefit us. It just doesn't. You know what I'm saying? It's like we need to figure out what we're going to do here in America. We have a new president that's making a whole lot of changes and making a space for us, a lane for us. We need to capitalize off of what Trump is doing instead of trying to run away like everybody else is trying to tell us to go do. They're trying to tell us to do a switcheroo with them, like replacement with us. And that is a trick that they're trying to use against us. Who talks about you, lady? Who are you? Well, keep listening. Bruce says, this is a new issue to me, but I'm not Black, so it's not in my radar. Okay. Bruce, same here. I'm here to learn and understand. I'm glad both of you guys are here, and especially if you're not even melanated or Black, that's good. You know what I'm saying? That you can learn. The land says she's talking about the people on that panel. All right. I didn't mean to be offensive, Yola. If you were confused, I'm sorry. You said I would be sick of it too, ma'am. Yes. And the land says, welcome to the live. Thank you for commenting. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thumbs up. Tanya says, Bruce, I didn't either. My family that's Black don't talk like that about this, rather. I'm just learning about it and going to bring it up to them and see how they feel about it. Tanya says, I'm watching the YouTube shorts. I'm not able to keep social media accounts, so I give up. All federal funding will be cut. Laura makes a way. Deport them and provide funding for Americans, not illegals. Exactly. Tanya says, I don't care what nationality you are. If you break the law, get the hell out of our country. Okay. Bruce says, I've had several channels removed from speaking my mind in chat, plus people complaining. Other Land says the Democrats cause many Americans who are usually caring to not care about the deportations. They allowed our system to be exploited and robbed. Exactly. I never knew so many people could come and invade America like they did. But seeing all the people just flooding in, the pictures of the videos of the media showcasing them doing it in real time, really put in motion our mindset also not to be so concerned about deportations, I would say. You said African goddess update your name to FBA goddess. Oh Lord. She's African though. More Ovaltine, please. She is living in Nigeria. So she's actually an African lady, and she is very well respected over here. Has a lot of knowledge. Tanya says, I care about what they have to go through to get here. And then if they don't pay the cartel back on top of it, the Democrats don't care about that. China has a code. More Ovaltine, please, says. Other Land says exactly the Democrats don't care about them. They were trying to increase their numbers. Yeah, they were trying to replace us. Tanya says, so true, it's all about the view and power. Ernest says about farmers in South Africa, that's BS. Ernest says, okay. Tanya says, are you talking about them taking the white people's farmland? Yes, that sucks also. Dave says, should we focus on the slavery in America or Africa? I try not to even focus on slavery at all. It just comes up when Africans talk to us. They always revert back to talking about slavery because that is when they felt like they had a lot more power. And they revel in that time of slavery. That's why they always bring it up to remind us, oh, you guys come from origins of slavery. We're better than you. We didn't have that happen to us. We weren't stripped of this and that and the other. We weren't raped and this and that and the other. And they think that that's going to earn brownie points with us. No, it's going to make us not care about you even further. They don't get that part, though. They constantly talk about it, though, all the time, slave trade. And I'm like, when are y'all going to get past slavery already? And if they can't get past slavery, then they need not be confused on why we don't give a damn about them. Yeah, chaotic is Nigerian. FB took my account when they went there. Tanya says, they took your account, huh? Kiki says, are you and your members okay with an older white woman listening in and maybe add an opinion or two if I find something that I wish to comment on? Oh, I don't mind, Kiki. Everybody's welcome here, as long as it is respectful. I do different comments or different content because there's a large thing going on in America right now called mass deportations. And we're just talking about our feelings of why we're so numb and indifferent to other so-called melanated people around the globe being mass deported, because a lot of people have misconceptions about how we were to respond to Haitians or Jamaicans or other Caribbeans or Africans being deported. And they were stunned. A lot of the YouTubers or people on social media were kind of shocked that we weren't responding. They're like, where are the Black people? Why aren't they upset? Why aren't they, wilding out for us? It's because it's not our place to, and all the talk about, we're better than you and you guys ain't got no culture. You guys ain't did nothing in America. You guys been taken care of by the white man. All this type of conversation that they've been having with us for all this time that I've been observing on YouTube has made us feel like we are indifferent to their plight. And that's exactly what had happened, what's happening. We're indifferent. We just don't care now. And that's the truth. And yes, you're welcome here. Tanya says we should stop it here in America and then try and stop it in other countries or don't give them money. Okay. Tanya says they never had a problem with me when I do. No, we don't. Most of the times we don't even know that you are another race unless you tell us. But even if we know, we don't care. Who are the slaves in America? Onya, Dave says. Tanya says every single one of us to the government, but that's getting worked on right now. Are we not free to an extent in America? I would say that we are freer than a lot of other people in a lot of other places. How would they all want to come over here if we weren't? Most people from other places around the globe are trying to fight to come here because of the freedoms that we have. And we have got to acknowledge that, you know, freedom of speech you can't do in other places. Women definitely don't have the freedoms that we have here. Look at all the people getting, what is that thing called? FGM, I think it's called, when they are doing circumcisions on little girls and whatnot. And, you know, all the grapes that happen and all the femicides that happen. And women don't really have voices in other places. So all these people come to America and then they try to tell us we are, you know, still victims here. And I don't look at myself as being a victim here in America. I look at myself as being victorious. I feel like we have overcome a lot of stuff and obstacles, and I feel like we are free. And of course, there could be some improvement. Of course, things could be better, but I'm looking at the glass, you know, half full, not empty. You said compared to the actual chained slaves in Africa. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean by that. And Kiki says, because it's the courteous thing to do, I'll be nice for now. And that's towards you by the creator or other followers. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, Kiki. Bruce says, we need to be together, not apart. I judge a person by their character, not the color of their skin. If you beat your wife, lie, steal, cheat, I don't want to be your friend. Exactly. Tanya says, I always say color is beautiful. Color is not a race. We are all one human race. Dave says Americans still enjoy the benefit of the richest nation. Exactly. Jarko says they aren't mad because they Black community has never had promises made to it kept. Why put illegal immigrants up on a pedestal ahead? Why give them 59 million for hotels? What have they done for y'all? Exactly. That is too much money for people that have not done nothing and haven't sacrificed anything. You should give it to the American people, not to the illegals. Phenom, I don't know how to say your name, but phone, I think it's Phenom Nick. As a Hispanic, you are validated on your feelings. You shouldn't worry about others or be expected to care about others. Take it easy. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. True, and the taxpayers have to pay for the deportations on top of all of that. Exactly. Intuitively wise. Hello, I think the land is SA. South Africa should be sectioned off if the land is farmland and the rest of the land for Black South Africans is of poor quality of non-use land. Okay. So in closing, y'all, because I've been on here for a while, I would like to say that I have no hate for anybody. I'm not trying to be divisive. I'm just trying to be honest. And I just posed the question of why many Black Americans, or better known as Indigenous Americans, I like to say, do not have any qualms about these mass deportations is because of how we've been perceived, how we've been talked to, how we've been treated, and how we have been diminished or minimized to being just slaves by many other groups of melanated people that come over here. And they tell us that we have not accomplished anything but slaves. And they want us to feel less than because they want to be placed above us. And because these mass deportations is revealing the reality that we belong in America as Americans, and they don't. And a lot of them, before these mass deportations, you know, they had disdain for us. And they were running around, calling us names, telling us we ain't shit, we ain't gonna be shit, we ain't gonna have shit, and all that type of talk. Now these mass deportations are happening, and we just don't give a damn about it. And that's just the reality of what it is. We are indifferent, and I wish them well when they go back home, and I hope that their homes are not as chaotic as they appear to be. But those men should do something other than run. They shouldn't be running to other countries, living off of the vapors of other sacrifices that other people made. They need, to learn what sacrifice is. And they can't expect us to do their sacrifice. But unfortunately, many Africans that are Pan-Africans especially have designated Black Americans to do sacrifices for them that they would not do themselves. And I refuse that line of thinking. I rebuke that line of thinking. But many of them are coming to us right now talking about citizenship. BN right now is talking about citizenship. Sierra Leone is talking about citizenship. Ghana talked about citizenship. And many other places are now popping up with these citizenships that they're trying to now give to us. And I don't want them. I'm home. I don't want no citizenship in Africa. They don't have nothing over there for me to want to go to. And I wish that they would stop and ask for the Africans that have fled to return to Africa and build up Africa and stop skipping them to talk to us, because we don't want to do the sacrifice that y'all don't want to do. It's not our place. It's not our problem. And that's the truth. And until they wake up to the reality that Black Americans are not to be their punching bag, not to be their scapegoat, not to be their sacrifice lamb, their lamb, the sacrificial lamb, we're going to constantly butt heads. But many of them think that they're smarter than us and that they can outwit us and they can outthink us. And they think that by throwing us this lame notion of citizenship is going to make us crumble inside and be all weak to the knees and be like, oh my God, they gave us citizenship. Oh, they want us. Oh, they need us. Oh, no. They're envisioning you to be debt slaves to their debt. That's why they keep talking about what kind of money they think we got. They keep highlighting, oh, we hear that you guys have $1.3 trillion of spending power. Y'all need to bring that money over here. That's what they want us for, to help them with their debt. And we don't want to be used like that. That's the truth. None of us that are thinkers want to be used like that. Only the Pan-African clowns don't mind being used like that, because they are less thin in their thinking, and they allowed these people to use and abuse them, and they think that that shit is tolerable, that shit is okay to do. And I say, no, it's not. Not us, not over here. If you're a true American and you're American first, you're not tolerating that type of treatment or talking or conversation. But these other Pan-Africans that want to worship Africans and Africa are lost. And they're mad because we're not lost alongside of them. But that's something that they're going to have to get over. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying, then I'm going to go. Thank you for coming through, Tanya. I'm about to go myself too. Knight says, do you know who had the most slaves? Brazil. And do you know who had the longest running slave trade in the last 1,500 years? You never guess. It was Korea. Oh, is that right? Knights Templar. Doofs Volt. Wow. Thank you for that. Excellent points of live. Thank you for that, of the land. You said, wow, interesting. I believe America had the shortest slave trade, though. Citizens in another country can lead to deportations from that country. Do you want to go there through that? That's what I tell them, intuitively wise. I've been trying to warn Black Americans or Indigenous Americans not to fall for the okie dokie and getting these citizenships in Africa, because you never know if Trump is going to pop up with policy changes pertaining to citizenships to another country. And if you are deported to that country that you got a citizenship to, a lot of people are going to have egg on their face. Y'all better be careful of these citizenships in these other countries. Trump is not playing with nobody out there, and he is very unpredictable. I would steer clear of citizenship. I would not dare take any risk in getting citizenship. But people that are Pan-Africans are trying to influence us to get these drive-by citizenships, and y'all don't know what awaits you 1 year, 2 year, 3 years from now. You better be wary and careful. That's what I'll say. Intuitively wise, that's what I've been preaching and teaching, but people don't want to listen. And they still been trying to tell us to get those citizenships, and they're going to be hurting, because I believe Trump is going to pull a fast one and get y'all deported. And that's going to be the irony of it all. That will be jacked up if that does happen, but it's on y'all, because y'all went over there listening to Pan-Africans and Africans that ultimately only want you for your money. And once that money runs out, you're done. You said nobody's trying to hear us. No, they're not, Kevin. I've been trying to preach and teach that, though. You said, I hope all those Pan-Africans get banned. Yeah, that would be funny if they got deported to the place that they went and got those drive-by citizenships. That would be actually funny to me. But I'm trying to save the other ones that are not thinking very clearly about how serious Trump is about change. And he is resetting a lot of stuff, and a lot of policies and executive orders are being signed all over the place. I would not take any chances on my citizenship being stripped from me by listening to Pan-African clowns and Africans who are overzealous, trying to tell us to do this and that and the other. Be careful. Be careful. I hope. Okay, so with that being said, please hit the like, please share and subscribe. And yes, if they're deported, it will be funny, because they have been running around talking bad about America, saying how much they are African and how they don't care about the destruction of America. And if they were banned or sent to where they got those citizenship, it would be karma. And I would feel just as like I'm feeling right now about these mass deportations on them. I would feel the same way. Oh, well, if you are a Black American and you've been talking reckless about America and you've been deported as well because of these citizenships that you have gotten, I would also be indifferent to you as well. But I would chuckle along with being indifferent. That's the truth. You said, buck the system, go Trump. Kevin says, is anybody else as tired as I am? I don't seem to be bouncing back either. I need a win to re-engage. Okay. He's doing exactly what I voted for, Lord Makes a Way says. Okay. Have a good day, everybody. Please like and share the video and bless up.